Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to the most epic podcast in the Muslim space when it comes to entrepreneurship, investment, and Islamic economics. On my right, we have Brother Sam, the Mughal of real estate. How you doing, Akhi?
Alhamdulillah.
Barakallah feek, man. And then we have the Prince of technology startups in the MENA region. Mr. Zarir, how are you, brother?
Very good.
Back from the UK?
Back from London, yes.
How was it?
It was incredible, amazing.
Really?
Yeah. You want to go into it? I have some interesting things to say about that trip.
I just came back from London a month ago.
Yeah?
And I hated it.
But for me, it was different.
I was in Knightsbridge, literally a stone's throw away from Harrods. The building I was in, I could literally throw a stone and it would crack a window in Harrods. It's like one of the richest, wealthiest, safest places.
I heard the event that you did was amazing, and it was in some incredible...
Put that to a side.
Yeah.
So we're in this place, and next thing you know, one of the brothers was at the event.
Yeah.
He walks out and his car's been broken into. A guy who looked like...
I didn't know that.
I didn't tell you this?
No.
A guy who looked like he has an executive job in Canary Wharf, bro.
Yeah.
Broke into his car and stole his laptop and his camera. And we're in like the nicest, should be the safest part.
So I'll tell you something. I was speaking to a friend of mine. We know him, Sheikh. This is a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I told him, I'm like, Chief, I'm hearing London is whack, like robbery, this and that. And I only chill in Knightsbridge and, where the Middle Eastern people are. So I'm like, I'm okay over there, right? He's like, I'm like, that's not like the hood. He's like, maybe you are, maybe you're not. I'm like, how come? He's because sometimes the hood comes to you.
No.
So there you go. The hood came to Knightsbridge.
No, the thing is, the crackheads have advanced now. They realize we have to look like executives.
Oof.
Bro, the way they dress, like a guy looked like an executive, just smash into the car.
Listen, I'll tell you something. I was in the metro.
Yeah.
And I'm an observer. I have this eye. So and there's a few things that I observed in the metro that made this trip incredible for me. What I'm about to say isn't one of it. Maybe later on when we get going, I'll tell you what what I observed that was so incredible that it made this trip amazing for me and is going to impact me for years to come. But what I observed, one of the things that I observed when I was in the metro, so I'm standing and people are sitting on the right and left, I'm in the middle. And then I observed that nobody had a watch on their wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm looking at everybody's wrist and it's packed, it's full. Nobody had a watch on their wrist. And then, I had my nice jacket and the watch out, like of the jacket. Then I'm like, oh crap, I covered my watch as well. When I realized that. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. Like 0%.
Zero. The whole cart, nobody had a watch. Nobody had the watch. Like nothing, not even a smartwatch or anything. No watch. Then I asked somebody, I'm like, how come nobody has watches? Like, no, people don't wear watches in London. What to do?
Because they get robbed, that's the way.
Of course, brother. Come on, I know.
I'll tell you what you didn't observe in the tube. I remember a few years ago, I came across a statistic. There's a 0.something% amount of fecal matter that's on the tubes. Person, when you touch all those rails and everything, bro, there's a bit of doo-doo, man.
Astaghfirullah.
Kind of moves. But anyway.
Back to business.
And then we've got Brother Mohamed Alsouk. How you doing, Akhi? Barakallah.
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. The king of construction. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. So we have a very esteemed panel as always. And guys, the objective of this podcast, as you know, is to talk to you about what's happening in the Muslim world when it comes to money, wealth, finances. This is a boring podcast for those that are not high net worth individuals or ultra high net worth individuals. This is not a get rich quick type of podcast. This is where we talk about, how to play in the big league with the big boys, inshallah ta'ala. So let me run you through our boring topics, as Ziri would like to put it. So, a couple of things. I want to talk about the concept of Waqf in our religion. Everyone talks about charity. Muslims give back a lot, but the Waqf or the Awqaf system is something amazing. That I believe about 60% of 60% of projects that were actually funded during Islamic governance. When Islamic governments used to rule in our history was through these Awqaf. And I spoke with a brother, a very amazing, very interesting brother in Australia, who's got an amazing Waqf project that I think I want to, kind of comment on and discuss with you guys, inshallah ta'ala. Then we've got some fintech businesses, right? Some Islamic fintech businesses that are around. We're going to talk about Wahid. We're going to talk about Manzil, which is a fintech company in Canada, helping Muslims with Sharia compliant investment, and also Halal stocks in Australia. Australia's got some stuff they're doing. I want to talk about AI. I spent 3 days with a brother who's a phenomenal AI consultant, showing me how to integrate AI systems into our marketing, our sales, and our operations. And this has been probably one of the most beneficial things I've done this entire year. These 3 days with this brother.
And we're going to dive deep into that?
We're going to dive deep into that.
Okay, that's good, because I feel like 99% of businesses, small, medium, and large today, are underutilizing
AI.
The AI that's
100%. And
including everyone on this table.
Bro, he shared some stuff with me. I feel like I got superpowers.
And including everybody watching as well.
You know what they say now? You know, like the next $1 billion company will probably be a one-person company.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
They expect that the next $1 billion company, a unicorn, is going to be just one guy.
Okay, so many things.
It's possible. It's possible. Let me run through the topics and then we'll dive into inshallah ta'ala. Also, so there's stats that are out. The GCC is set to lead global growth in terms of GDP in 2026. Right? It's outperform the whole world.
Alhamdulillah.
The UAE and Saudi Arabia in specific. We're going to discuss that. Piggybacking off of that topic, MENA startup funding surges to 4.5 billion in just Q3 of 2025. And inshallah, you'll have some stuff to share on that, Zarir. Pakistan's economic growth, this is starting to really surge. There's a lot of khair on the horizon. And what does that mean for the Muslim world, that Pakistan, being the strongest military in the Muslim world, is now starting to stabilize its economy? So what does that mean for us, inshallah ta'ala? What opportunities are there on the horizon? And a few other topics that I think are important to go into, man. President Donald Trump called Somalis garbage, right, recently. So I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Somali people are very close and very near and dear to my heart. And I'll share a bit more about why. And I think that they are a huge asset to the ummah. So I want to discuss that as well, inshallah ta'ala.
Somalis are very entrepreneurial. I don't like that word. Somalis are business people. Very smart and strong business people.
We're going to dive into it.
Have you ever seen what Somal looks like back in the day, in the 50s, 60s?
Yes, I have.
Really, really nice.
Somalis?
Yeah, it's Somal overall as a country, back in the 50s, 60s was a very nice, proper country.
It was like Iran before
you can look up pictures.
The so-called Islamic revolution.
Let's start with this topic then, since we're diving into it, inshallah ta'ala. To the Muslim CEO who's tired of choosing between high level but haram, or halal but basic. Look, I know you've looked at the options, right? These successful masterminds, they've got very smart people, but the culture is alcohol, it's free mixing, and values you don't share. The more practicing dini events, beautiful intentions, great people, but nobody's thinking about multi-jurisdictional structuring or institutional deal flow. So you've been stuck in the middle. You're too, dini and practicing for the world, but you're also too ambitious for the brothers. This is why we built The Cave, our network of high value and ultra high value individuals who refuse to compromise on either business and money and wealth and the akhirah. This is for Muslims who operate as an 8-9 figure level where deen and strategy coexist. This is the place where you finally belong, inshallah. Apply now. Membership is by invitation or application only. Hopefully we have you on the other side. Click the link below. So let me play the clip from Donald Trump. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah, I did. I think he was also taking a stab at Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, I mean, let me.
But then again, don't forget, this is the same guy that spoke about the Muslim ban.
He did. Let's say it.
Somalians ripped off that state for billions of dollars. Billions. Every year. Billions of dollars. And they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you, okay? Somebody would say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries, too. I can say it about other countries, too. We don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain, and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it.
Okay, so let me tell you what, there's so much about what he said that I think we can dive into, inshallah ta'ala, right? The part that really annoyed me when I heard it was when he said there's a reason why their country is no good. That's what he said, right? This is typical colonialist speech, man. But these are people that destroyed the country in the first place.
Exactly.
The British when they colonized, then the Italian, and then these lot bombed the hell out of Somali in the 90s, right? I'm saying, like, to me, that's the part about this that annoys me the most, right? Is that there's so much that he said, you know, that was wrong. But it's like, bro, you will come in and destroy a country, create a situation that becomes a refugee crisis where they have to get out in order to survive, yeah? And you're the reason for that. And then you're going to say, we don't want that garbage in our country. You know, India was responsible, and I'm talking about the time when the Mughal used to rule, for 25% of the world's GDP. Did you know that?
Yep.
I know that. Yeah.
25% of the world's GDP.
I didn't know. At the Mughal time, I know they did incredibly well, but 25%?
25%. You know, people talk about Islamic Spain, what we left behind in Andalusia. Nothing compared to what we lost in India.
Wow.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm from that region, right?
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
Yep.
25% of the world's global GDP, bro, came from India. These people came and they ransacked the place. And now rats, you go to Mumbai, bro, the place is infested with rats.
Yeah.
And rat feces all over the place. So what are your thoughts on this? Sam, what do you think?
I'd like to hear the
Go on,
brother's
Zarir.
thoughts, Sheikh. Yeah.
Zarir has,
You ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say.
no, I want to hear what you have to say.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, brother. You know, the past, the history, no point going into it because everybody knows it. Yeah, and you talk about the present.
Yeah, let's talk about the present God.
Is there anything valid in what he said? I always like to try to understand where the person's coming from. Like, why is he saying what he's saying? Is there anything valid in what he's saying? He mentioned something, then he mentioned a lot of stuff that we don't like.
Yeah.
Then he said Ilhan Omar.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Mohamed said, maybe he just doesn't like her.
Honestly, I don't like her. So I have also a bit of an unorthodox opinion about this, but I'll share my opinion later.
You know, you need to always try and understand why somebody's saying what he's saying. Is there anything valid in it? You get what I mean? It could be everything that he said.
So I don't get, what's your issue with Ilhan Omar? By the way,
I don't know anything about her.
By the way, I don't know anything about her either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about her. I just heard what he said, and then he mentioned her name.
So it seems like you're pointing at there being some validity behind what he's saying.
I'm asking the question. You know?
I'll tell you one thing that he said,
Yeah.
which, if it's true,
Because he's not an idiot, right? He's not an idiot.
Oh, he is.
He's the president of the one of the most powerful countries in the world.
Yeah,
He doesn't say something that wasn't him just going on a rant emotionally.
Look.
It was very precise what he said and why he said it. My question is why.
Okay, let me try and get at what I think you're hinting to.
Yeah.
But I was making a separate point at the beginning, which is why I started off intentionally the way I started off, right? Because I feel like it's important for us to know who our ops are and who our allies are, right? What I was actually trying to get to, and then I'll comment on this point. There's a lot of Somali money, right? There's a lot of Somali money in the West, right?
And they send a lot of it back.
No, they do, but I feel like not enough. For example, one of our chief operations officer, Brother Hassan. He told me, for example, one of his cousins is part of a massive high net worth Somali network in North Africa. Are you familiar with it?
North Africa or North America?
North America, sorry, North America. It's a high net worth
Is it called the Somali Professional Network?
I'm not sure. But there's like entrepreneurs, investors, very high caliber people. So it's clear there's Somalis that, mashallah, tabarakallah, high net worth individuals doing their thing. They're in North Africa. I know for a fact that even though Somalis might not be, some of them might not be the most affluent in the UK, they could produce money like that.
They can.
If there was a community, if there was a network that could produce money like that to get masajid built with what? With what? Bro, zero riba. You know, Somalis don't take riba. That's one thing they're known for. Pakistanis, unfortunately, third generation, fourth generation Pakistanis, bro, these men swimming in riba. No, 100%. Somalis is known. Somalis, even the ones that are not practicing, will do all sorts of things. Riba? No, we're not going to touch that. My point is, Somalis can put money together. You know, whenever I've seen a brother, like Brother Jamal, right, who's been on our podcast multiple times, Alam Barik, 8-figure entrepreneur, had 2 exits, working on his 3rd one now. How did he start off? He got seeded money from his community, right? From his family, if I'm not mistaken, his mum or someone. Somalis are like that, bro. They'll produce money. They'll produce that seed fund. They'll get that money together. My thing is, now it's become apparent that these people don't like you. It's become apparent. And the good thing is, I don't have to tell Somalis this. They already know. But what I am trying to do is just maybe stir the wound a bit and say, wake up and now realize that it's time for us to start moving our money out and reinvesting in our own countries. So, and I'm, whether it's investing back home in Somalia or whether it's investing in Muslim economies in general, because Somalis have got a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Somalis have a lot to offer. Somalis, one thing I notice about them is that when they go into something, they go 100%. Somalis don't do things half-heartedly. Somalis are the best students of knowledge that I've seen in my life. When Somalis start studying and seeking knowledge, bro, they outpace everyone else. The Bengali, the Pakistani, the Arab, all of them, right? I've seen it. Maybe it's just my experience. Also, when Somalis they come on the streets, they take everyone else, bro. Like, there were certain ethnicities that were known to run things in London. Yeah. I won't mention who, right? Then when the Somalis came 2010, 2011, 2012, when they started to take over the hood, those guys said, these guys are built differently, bro. we had to surrender. Do you know what I'm saying? So Somalis, when they do something, bro,
they do it with ihsan.
They do it with ihsan. Do you know what I'm saying? They do it with ihsan. And it's
if you're going to do something wrong, do it right. That's how Somalis used to do it in London in 2010, 11, 12.
So my point is that's what I want to get across to our brothers, yeah, and our sisters and our auntie. I'm saying they've got a lot of money. They're a community that stick together. You know what I'm saying? They can produce a lot, and it's just about allocating that money in the right places.
So what you're saying, in short, is that the circumstances that led them to go to the West in the 90s, for better opportunities, those circumstances no longer exist. They've changed. Now they can go to better places in the East, like Dubai, and do the same things that they did over there without,
yeah. And I'm saying
without being unwelcomed.
And I'm saying a catalyst for that is that when you have a person like this who's insulting you in that way, and he's the leader of the strongest country in the world, then that should be action. But now coming back to your point,
I'll tell you something. If it's in his interest, a week from now, he'll be like in the community telling them how amazing it is. Brother, it's politics.
Yeah, I understand, bro.
It's politics. He'll be singing their praise. He'll be saying the same thing that I just said. He'll be like, the Somalian people are the most entrepreneurial.
Should I tell you something about Somalis?
Yeah. What?
They won't forget it. I'll tell you something about Somalis.
Yeah?
Yeah, Somalis don't like that. Pakistanis? Oh, see, I said politics. No, Somalis, they won't forget that. So what I'm trying to get across here is that brothers, come, welcome, inshallah. That's what I'm trying to say. But now coming to your other point.
Yeah.
Is there validity behind what he's saying? Go on, Sam.
I think Mohamed has strong opinions. Okay, no. So basically, I won't repeat everything you have said, Sheikh, right? We have all been colonized and everything we have came. But my theory is, and I'll speak of my community, which is Bangladeshi community. Yeah. There was a big scandal in 2014 in Michigan.
Yeah.
There's a big food stamp fraud. Mm-hmm. You know what food stamp is? Mm-hmm. Basically the welfare money to buy food, right? Mm-hmm. For certain poverty line families. Mm-hmm. So what Bangladeshis were doing was taking that money, taking that food stamp card. By the way, guys, don't clip it because we don't want to insult our own communities, Muslim communities. It's just I'm making a point. They're taking this food stamp card, EBT card, going to the store. It's only meant to buy food, but they were buying other stuff. And then they would take a step ahead. They would sell those stuff. Basically doing business with welfare money. Mm-hmm. It's completely illegal, complete fraud. And the store owners were Bangladeshis as well. Mm-hmm. And they were part of this. Like, okay, so you have $500. We're going to, like the whole scandal. Mm-hmm. Then what happened was FBI raided all the stores all together, like helicopter, and all the shop owners, their homes at the same time. It was like a stint operation. They had many evidences on the videos and whatnot. They put mystery shoppers. They got some Bengali snitches. They were calling them snitches, but I mean, whatever you want to call them. But FBI planted them and actually committed the fraud. They got it on video. The whole point being, it was a big embarrassment. And of course, when they put it on the news, they're not going to only put Bangladeshis did it. What are you going to add to it? Muslims. But they don't do the same thing when Venezuelan drug cartels do something. They don't say Catholics. They don't say Christians. When Mexicans do something, they won't put Christians and Catholics or their religion behind it. But we know there's agenda, like, we already know this is old news. But we have to also know that this affects everyone. Now, probably Pakistanis don't have anything to do it. Yemenis don't have anything to do it. But when you put Muslims, then they look at like all the Muslims, these are just here to take advantage of us. So I think, Sheikh, there's validity, and it doesn't have nothing to do with Somalis only. It has to do with all immigrants. But of course, when that immigrant group is Muslim group, it gets blown out of proportion. It gets blown out of proportion, but it's an immigrant problem. And I think, Sheikh, the last thing, I think we have to also, not everybody can yet like just move out of the States. Probably they just immigrated there, right? They come from hard times. They're barely making money. And I'm actually super grateful to what Allah has blessed me through being in America, because I still think it's one of the best countries to go from 0 to 1. Okay. But when you go to 1, then you have to think, okay, what else can I do? There's not many countries where you're just literally 0. Just like our family, we came 0. There's no connections, no education, nothing. And you go to 1, then Allah blessed us to be in a position to think otherwise. But from going from 0 to 1, I think you have to be law-abiding citizen. Like, for example, last thing, my father, a lot of people apply for food stamp. The next day, they land in America. But legally, you're not supposed to apply for it until like 5 years you have lived in the country. That's the legal law, okay? But everybody applies. And if it's a Democrat-run government, which in our case, we moved in 2009, so Obama was the president. So Democrats, they like giving away stuff because they want to buy the votes, right? So they don't really check when you landed here. If you apply, you'll get it as long as you meet the income qualifications, you're under the poverty line. My father said, no, we won't do it. We won't take it, because first, it's illegal. We're not eligible for it. We're not here for 5 years. Second, even when you were eligible, we don't want to do it. So I think we have to have that honor as well, because people make American dream to be, well, coming from like, I'm gonna go and just take advantage of the government, So that's where you're not gonna earn respect, and that's not a Muslim issue. That's not an immigrant issue. I think it's a mindset issue.
Yeah, I mean, look, Barakallah Fiqh, because as we talked about in the previous podcast, nuance is very important, right?
Yeah.
Nuance is very important. So now coming to something that he said, which might have had some validity. If what he's saying about 88% are on welfare, right, in that particular community, in that particular region, that's a huge problem.
That's surprising to me, because Somalis, like the Somalis that we know, business-minded, they go from 0 to 1 to 10 quickly.
Yeah, but but it's over generations. Don't forget, the previous generation is not the same as this one, and will not be as the one before.
Look, the ones that you have to understand, are the ones that have made it out.
Yeah.
Right? It's the ones that we introduce you to here in the UAE. Allah barik. But what I'm trying to say is that, like what you said about Bengalis, Pakistanis, just Muslim immigrants, just generally, right? Or this is one of the things I remember Ustad Abdurrahman used to say. He used to say this, in his khutbahs, bro, in his lessons in the masjid, saying it's embarrassing that a Muslim man with a beard and a woman that's a Muslim with niqab is going to go to job seekers allowance, to get these welfare benefits and hey, please give me. It's not, we should never be in that situation. You see, coming to Muslims, coming to a non-Muslim country should be a means of guidance for them. As a matter of fact, Muslims would go to Indonesia and other places, and they would imagine this, Imagine this. Imagine a Pakistani come off a boat, He's got curry breath, right? He's got his little accent, you know what I'm saying? And he walks in, and everyone looks at him and says, wow, I want to be like you. They're so impressed that they say, I actually want to follow your religion. Can you imagine that happening?
No.
But that happened in Indonesia. The exact same surah I gave you happened. Muslims came off the boats into Indonesia. The way they traded with nobility, the way they spoke. The king said, who are these people? Bring them.
But they were Yemeni, bro. They don't eat curry.
By the way, curry is the biggest and most famous and most favorite meal of the UK. So
I
we
know.
love it. They
Yeah,
love
I
it.
know. I saw a video of like one of those like right-wing guys in a rally.
Yeah.
So he's taking a break from the rally. He's like
goes
eating
take
curry.
But you're missing my point, right? My point is that when nobles come, when they came as immigrants, when the Muslims came as immigrants to Indonesia,
They became role models.
Yeah, they came with so much nobility that people said, I want to be like them. Do you understand? And I'm saying that Muslims have to consider that when you go to certain communities and you become, like I'm saying, bro, there's certain Pakistani communities. By the it's a very sensitive topic because you're talking about individuals, talking about ethnicities, nationalities. So when it comes to my own people, I could be rough. I could be tough.
Yeah.
Pakistanis in some places in the UK are scum of the earth, bro. Honestly, some of them are the scum of the earth, bro. Some of them are the filthiest, nastiest, dirtiest, like downtrodden, evil people, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, bro. It's a matter of fact, and we have to be real. Now, of course, there's some people that take that stuff out of proportion. They make it seem bigger than it is. They make it seem like it's a Muslim problem. It's not a Muslim problem, bro. It's a poverty problem. When you put people in situations of poverty, they're going to do crazy things. In Ukraine, when the Soviet Union, or that region which now has become Ukraine, when they had put a mass famine on them, but people were eating each other. People would actually get money from the Soviet Union if they would help bury people for them, because there were some people dying, that they would actually take people that are still alive and bury them alive just to get some food.
My God.
I'm saying poverty brings out craziness in people. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that Pakistanis are inherently nasty, downtrodden. I'm not saying that. It's my people, right? And it's definitely not a Muslim problem. But what I'm saying is that circumstances have led to Pakistanis being in some of the most filthiest, nastiest situations in the UK. And that should never be the case, because you're a Muslim. You should never accept that for yourself. I'm saying if poverty does that to you on a normal situation, a Muslim should never be in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is, as you said, could be a point of validity in that you only insult people in a certain way when, there is something that...
Did he say 88% are on welfare?
Yeah.
Yes.
He said that?
Yeah.
But
See, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah.
No, but
did.
what caught the attention though, brother, is basically there's a lot of fraud going on. And that's why the whole thing sparked, because there's a lot of fraud, and out of all the fraud, the majority is unfortunately Muslim names.
But that happens in so many countries, even in the UK, because they're like, even now when I was there, every time I go, I learn a little bit more about the welfare state. And like, subhanAllah, they're so accommodating. And even now that they've tightened the loopholes in the system, it's still so helpful for people who need it. Yeah. So for you to abuse the system like that.
Yeah.
But that's
you
exactly...
get what I mean? But then that's what they say. Bring me, like in the States, they say, what do they say? Bring me your poor, your weak, your trodden, the ones that nobody wants. But when you ask for that, then you get problems when they come. Those kind of problems when they come. You know the saying, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, did I get it right?
But that's
similar
where
to
Ilhan Omar carries that responsibility, right? The reason why I said I don't like her is because I have an unpopular opinion about this, but one thing I hate, and one thing that all Muslim men should never do, is have a victimhood mentality.
Okay.
No matter what situation you're in, God puts you through tests, you have to make the best out of it. So a person like Ilhan Omar is supposed to be a representative of her community.
Yeah.
So instead of her playing the victim card and going against the leader of the nation and this and that, there are a lot of other more proactive things that she could focus on, at least for her community. And if this issue, this scandal of the 88% is true, then she has a really big problem. That should be the first of her priority, because she's a representative of this community. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that if you're elected as this representative, then you carry that responsibility of actually achieving something and doing something for that community, instead of just playing, going against him and criticism and all that. There's...
Yeah, but this is the problem, bro. When you have this kind of systems, when you don't have kings, and you have when you have peasants who become politicians,
listen, have you ever?
Then they're only going to work for themselves.
Not really. Well,
but
that's the thing. But this is why
we need to have the kingdom of America. We make Donald Trump king. He gets rid of Ilhan.
Then that's the thing. Well, then when the leader of that nation comes and give it to you straight up like that, assuming that the statistic is right, then you should take it. You should accept that criticism, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of other communities that are thriving.
I mean, my issue.
What I'm trying to I was just going to say one point. There's the book, The Art of Not Giving an F, right? So he mentions one of the individuals that basically went on. He was going to commit suicide, right? And he decided one day that, you know what, I'm gonna basically try to assume that everything that's happening to my life, I have control over, because he was just fed up with his life. His life was just crap and everything. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take ownership of everything. He went on to become, after changing that mindset, one of the top psychiatrists in the world because of that shift in mindset. And the reason I say this is because, for example, I take my community as an example, Syrians. After 14 years of one of the toughest, most brutal, most oppressive civil wars that the world has ever seen. Yet, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased, the stats prove it. Everywhere they went, they thrived. Everywhere they went, they thrived. Sweden, Germany, US, patents, top doctors, top prizes everywhere.
Why is that? Because I've noticed.
Why is that? Yes, I'll tell you why it's that.
You're actually right. Remarkably, Allah Barik.
All top
Remarkably.
doctors in Michigan are Syrians.
Here in the UAE, akhi.
And I
Syrians
swear, I wish I wasn't Syrian to say this, but I'm trying to be really not biased, but it's the reality.
Well, I didn't even know you were Syrian.
Well, now you know.
I love you more now that I know you're Syrian. Not because of the war and all that stuff,
Yeah.
but because of the good experience I've had with almost all of the Syrians I've encountered.
Alhamdulillah. What I'm saying is, first of all, we consider ourselves Umayyin. So we are like really Bani Umayyah. Like,
Now you're talking my language, brother.
really, we consider ourselves Bani Umayyah. We are descendants of the Umayyad.
Very interesting. That's as an identity.
like how he
that's
looks.
a very
I like
powerful
that.
thing.
Because when you look at it, when you look at it like that, you should.
He looks like an Umawi.
No. What
I
I'm
can see
saying
him
is
with the
there's
thobe.
this sense of
And the Jawari walking behind you.
No. I'll tell you what. There is this sense of you. It's an unspoken pride that they have, that they carry that
First Islamic dynasty.
Exactly. Like they carry that
Bro,
in
it's
their
not the
identity.
first Islamic dynasty. The Umayyad dynasty ruled Spain till God knows where.
The
till
largest.
Pakistan.
But I want him to land.
Yeah, so they have this from a very young age. They are against laziness. They are against living on welfare. They are so proud that anything you do, and they have this thing, you do it to perfection. Even if you're doing a freaking shawarma. Maybe that's why we have the best shawarmas. No, but jokes aside, whatever you do, you should do it to perfection. If you take that on an individual level, compound it, I'll use the same guy, Donald Trump. Who is the person that removed the sanctions? Him on the Syrians. And who was the person that helped Syrians the most? Him. And who was the person that really spoke very highly of Syrians? Him. So the same way obviously, I don't like what he said about Somalis because I have a lot of respect for them too. But you should also look at the fact that power recognizes power, right? So when you're proud, when you know that your community is doing well, when you're productive, that's power in itself. So when you're talking to power, it recognizes power. So you should have that. You should have that sort of productive, very not lazy, very proud. How can I say it's embedded attitude? It's embedded in our identity as Muslims. So I don't know why immigrants do what they do when they travel abroad, because like Brother Sam said, it's so easy to go from 0 to 1. And it's also very easy to go from 1 to 100, but you need dedication and discipline. So what I'm trying to say is that, unfortunately, some communities are led and maybe affected by representatives like Ilhan that really offer nothing.
So what you're saying is some communities are not led.
No, well, I mean, Somalis, if they had much better representation, I'm sure they would achieve a lot more.
Barakallah fi, man, I really like the way you articulated your point here. And I think it shows the importance of having a very strong identity, Muslim identity. And I think my concluding point on this before we move on to the Somali diaspora is that, Somalis, I spent a lot of time with different communities. I spent a lot of time with all different ethnicities and nationalities. Some of the most practicing people on earth are Somalis. They really take the Quran seriously. They really take the deen seriously. They're also my fellows in the Shafi'i madhab. I believe that, having that as a foundation, they can produce so much, right?
Yeah.
If they, as a community, they just get a few things aligned.
Yes.
I feel like, because Allah Azza wa Jal is going to be in the aid, man, of the one who his foundations are right. Do you know what I'm saying? So having the Quran, having that fitrah, I think is a beautiful foundation for a lot of greatness to be built. Okay, listen, I'm not a person that brings you investment opportunities very often, and if I do, I can guarantee you and promise you one thing: it's been looked over and scrutinized at least 3 times over. So there is a brother called Sam Amin. You might have seen him on my podcast, and he, Alam Barik, is helping Muslims become rich through real estate. Now, this is not for people that are trying to go from 0 to 1. We're talking about guys that have savings, people that have at least $100,000 liquid capital ready to be deployed. He has an opportunity for you. It's a project right here in Dubai, 100% riba free, inshallah, 50% returns within 2 years. And there are only a very few bit of allocations left. The land has been purchased, the architectural work has already been done, and very soon they're going to be selling off-plan, inshallah ta'ala. And once the off-plan sales start, the door closes. Just so you know how much of a golden opportunity this is, you are currently able to get in at the land where it's 1,000 dirham per square foot, inshallah ta'ala. They're going to be selling this at 1,700 plus dirham per square foot. Do you understand how big that margin is? With Allah's permission, is tawfiq. This type of opportunity, it's not just rare, it may never even ever come round again at this stage. So it would be not smart to miss this opportunity, especially when it's halal. There's no riba involved, inshallah ta'ala. So this is genuinely and truly the final call. And once the door closes, please don't message me and those, I'm talking to those that actually know me personally, sending me messages on WhatsApp saying, please get me in. Once it's done, it's done. So again, if you have $100,000 minimum liquid cash ready to deploy within the next 30 days, only in that situation should you apply at the link below, and you can speak to one of Sam's team members directly on the phone, do all the due diligence, ask all the questions, they'll put you in touch with his investors, inshallah ta'ala, from the past. You can see it's all legit, and then hopefully you can do the deal. With that said, may Allah bless you. Apply at the link below. Babe, let's move on to the next topic, inshallah. Sam, so we've talked a lot about stocks and Islamic finance in previous episodes. I know Mohamed's gonna really, get upset because these are weak asset classes. I'll call it to Mohamed and yourself. But just so we know what's going on and we can kind of just highlight some of the stuff that's happening in the Muslim world. So there's halal stocks, right? This is like a consultancy.
Advisory,
right? Tell us a bit about what they do. And then we're going to compare that, if we can compare it, with some of the other stuff, like, for example, Wahid in the UK and Manzil in Canada. Let's understand these things a bit, just so our audience can make informed decisions about where they place their money and so on and so forth.
Right, Sheikh. So I think, just to be fair, what I feel like, because I have seen Wahid's early days, alhamdulillah, Wahid Invest from 2016-17 to what it is now. I think the Islamic finance, when it comes to investing in equities and stocks, in the last 10 years or so, it went through 4 small eras, or 3, but I think it should jump into the 4th one now. Okay, Sheikh?
Oh, cool.
So the first one being era of accessibility. Okay, and that's what Wahid Invest was, the pioneer and the leader. Okay. What do I mean by that? So basically making Sharia screened stocks. I wouldn't say Sharia compliant necessarily, because it's the scholar's job to do that. And many scholars differ if it's Sharia compliant or no. But Sharia screened stocks, and then making it a completely regulated platform. Regulated being the underlying word here, where it's a regulated platform, like completely licensed, regulated, robo-advisor, where they have Sharia screened out of the S&P 500, I think 200 plus stocks. So you put in $100, it's only going to those 200, and it's going through a licensed and regulated platform. Okay, Sheikh?
Safe,
First,
secure.
safe, secured. Like nobody's gonna knock on your door. FBI is not coming. Interpol is not coming. Nobody's coming to investigate. Like, why are you investing here? So this was the first of its kind.
Okay.
Like nobody has done it before Wahid Invest. Robo-advisors, Sharia screened stocks.
What is a robo-advisor?
Robo-advisor meaning they have already screened the stocks and the allocation, what they think is good, like a Robinhood, but with those Sharia screening and everything.
Okay.
And for its time, it was the first one. So they paved the path for everyone else to even think like globally, okay, how can I bring global Muslims together? How can they invest? Because before that, in Western English-speaking world, nobody even understood, what do you mean Sharia screened stocks? Like, why should stocks be not Sharia compliant? You know, we know interest is not Sharia compliant. Okay, loans, why should stocks be not Sharia compliant?
They brought the conversation
They
to the
brought
table.
even the conversation to the table. Absolutely, Shahan. This is the hardest thing to do. When there is no proof of concept, when you're at zero, to even bring the conversation, make it mainstream, that's the word I was looking for, they did it. So that was the era of accessibility, right, Sheikh? Then it moved to era of what I would say credibility.
Okay.
So era of credibility. Now that it's there, how do you make it credible? So again, mashallah, that's what Wahid Invest, Manzil, Wahid Invest, what they did, they got funding from Aramco. I think they got $10 million check from Aramco. Aramco's investing arm, Wahid Ventures. They got $10 million. Their valuation increased. They did the pre-seed, seed, Series A, Series B funding. Then they added other ventures to it. It's not only stocks anymore. Now you can invest in other businesses. They recently launched the real estate. And they got some good named scholars and celebrities and athletes to promote them, right? That are well known throughout the world. So the credibility. So that was the era of accessibility, then era of credibility. Now it's credible. Now it's not like just a robo-advisor that nobody knows anything about. Then the third one, where it became very interesting, is basically era of transparency, right? Where I think this is where most Gen Zs we talked about last time, and even where the world is heading, people not only want to know, okay, how are you doing financially? People want to know, how are you doing socially? So that's where ESG comes in, right? How are you picking stocks or picking
what's
companies?
ESG?
Environmental, social, and governance. Basically, how are you socially? Okay, we understand you're financially very strong. Tell us your company. How do you govern the people? What's your rules? What's your code of ethics? How do you care about the environment? Do you care about social implications of you doing business in a certain country and things like that?
Weapons, for example, weapons
Yes.
companies that are, supplying
Exactly,
weapons to
exactly,
war-torn
Shah.
countries.
Then add to that BDS movement, which Halal Stocks Co. has done, because they've realized, I feel like, okay, accessibility is already there. Credibility is already there with other companies. What can we bring different? Okay, let us bring transparency. We're not going to only Sharia screen based on debts and all that. We're going to also screen based on what? ESG and BDS.
So what's BDS?
BDS, Sheikh, I'm not too familiar of the boycott. I don't know.
Boycott, divest, and sanction.
Yes. So basically, the companies that support the Zionist organization or the country, like openly and
Down the
invest in
boycott list, not
Down the-
basically investing or buying stocks in those countries.
Correct.
So, but why is that of importance?
I think
Why should we care? Why is that even a
of course,
USP?
and that leads also to the fourth point where we should go. I don't think we should only stop at being transparent, right, Sheikh? I think the fourth step we should think of going is era of institutionalizing. What do I mean by that? Basically, two words: control and creation. So all these things, if you see, Sheikh, what we have done so far, we have screened other stocks. Okay, we have found ways how to invest in those other stocks in a Sharia compliant way, right? What we have essentially become is fund of funds. Okay, we have become aggregators, meaning, okay, so there's this company, Apple, Microsoft. We're going to pool all of our funds in a Sharia compliant way, but we're going to invest in their governance, in their infrastructure, in their ecosystem. Okay, I think we need to go into the era of now creating our own institutions where we're not playing in their rules, we're creating our own rules. Like it's in our field we're playing. For example, like Brother Zarir has a startup company, right? So when we're investing in ventures, we're not finding ways only like, okay, how do I collect $100 million in a Sharia compliant way and invest in John's company that we have no idea, like whatever, right? But well, it's Sharia compliant way. We have structured the fund, but what is this fund doing? It has become a fund of funds. It's going out of our ecosystem. Now we need to institutionalize it and keep that fund within our ecosystem where we create the rules, where we have the control and creation. We create it and we control it the way we'd like to control it. I think we have to move to that stage. And there's a lot of fund of funds that way. So I consider Wahid Invest also a fund of funds. You're putting fund together, but that is going outside. So it's acting like an aggregator, not like
Creating one extra filter, one extra layer.
And you
filter.
talked about it actually last week, bro. Like aggregator concept, right? Like the Sonders when we talked about it. You're basically just an aggregator. You're making it very secure structure, which was needed, which is all is needed. You have paved the path for us. Now I think we need to go beyond and create our own institutions. So we invest that structure that we have created, we invest it back into what we are actually doing.
So, Barakallah Fi, the reason why I wanted to discuss this, right, is because, and you've touched on some of these themes, but I just want to expand them a bit more.
Yep.
Is because I feel like there's a huge silver lining here. There's a huge silver lining here. So, Wahid gets a lot of criticism for what you mentioned, right, which is that you're just fundamentally funding the outsiders.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like ultimately, when this capital gets deployed into the S&P 500, it's those companies that are making money. And you're just getting some scraps, you know, like 5%, 6%, 7% returns or whatever have you. But fundamentally, Muslim money is going into their ecosystems. I was speaking with Brother Umar Suleiman, who's the head of risk and compliance.
Chief Risk Officer.
At Wahid, right? He mentioned something very interesting to me. He said, there's thousands of top companies in the world. And from amongst them, there's only one Muslim one, which is Aramco. But 1/3 of the funding of those companies comes from Muslims. So 1/3 of the top companies in the in the world is being funded by Muslims, whereas only one of them is actually a Muslim company. So definitely what you're saying, it has credence to it, right? But what I love about what Wahid done is that they actually did, you know, it's always harder to walk before you can run.
Of course.
They walk, so many people can run after. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's very easy to point the finger. And look, just so everyone knows my position, I'm not convinced in the, you know, apparent Sharia compliance, you know, standards of these stocks. As in, you know, the whole, you can have
X% of debt
riba,
based debt.
up to a third, or just below a third, and 5% in other things. I'm not convinced by that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are scholars that pass those fatwa. There's valid difference of opinion amongst the scholars, and you know, no inkar fi masail ijtihad. If there's an issue which is ijtihadi, it's a contemporary issue, and there's actual scholars that adhere to the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, and they're not doing this based on their desires. There's actual evidences that they're using. That's not something I'm going to have a quarrel over. But I love how now people are starting to be like, well, you know what? Because again, I'm not sure if Wahid invests in companies that are on the boycott list. I don't know. But I also haven't seen them say they don't.
Right.
But this is obviously a concern that Muslims had. So Halal Stocks has now come out and said, look, we're going to screen for, even though they don't take your money, they just give you advice, strategic, kind of.
They're like Motley Fool, like a Muslim version of Motley Fool, the advisor.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but they're looking at these Islamic sensitivities and say, you know, Islam, Muslims actually care about where this money goes. We don't want it to go to Zionist entities. Now the thing is, what's the next stage? What's the next stage? What's the next thing that we're going to do? But go on, Zarir.
Two things. One, definitely they're going to, once as time passes and if they're successful and they get more popular, very likely they'll become another Wahid, you know, in terms of taking funds and investing, because obviously...
You're talking about Halal Stocks?
Yeah. You need to, from a business model, there's more money that way, far more. But what I wanted to say is, I'm going to, again, use my observation skills to call a spade a spade.
Go on.
Okay? There's one rule for Muslim companies that are $10 million revenue, $100 million, $1 billion, $10 billion. And then there's another set of rules for people who are underneath that. You get me? I'll give you an example. Brothers who are starting off, for them, it's haram for them to have a guy in an advertisement that's showing his belly button or his knee. No, don't work with that company. Don't work with that company. But then if you look at some of the biggest companies in the world that are Muslim owned, do you think they don't have free mixing in their companies? Do you think they don't have women in their advertisements? Do you think, on top of that, do you think they don't have riba-based loans? Yet, AOFI standards allows you to invest in those companies.
Really?
Correct? Yes. You just said it. Depending on a certain percentage, according to scholars. That's riba. Yeah, but then the small guy that needs the loan, like I'll give you an example. Us today at Bani Auto Part, we, alhamdulillah, yani we have today, our next move is to provide credit to the biggest, the clients that we have, the dealerships in the UAE. They do insurance accident repair they repair vehicles from insurance companies. The insurance companies pay them 90 days late. They're paying us for the parts cash upfront. Can you imagine how like terrible their cash flow cycle is? They need credit because they're getting paid 90 days later. They need credit. There are solutions out there called invoice factoring. Okay. Where I can go to a bank, to a non-banking financial institution and say, look, I have invoices from the biggest companies in the UAE. Rustamani, Galadari, and the list goes on. You got it? I'll give you the invoice today. They're going to pay me in 30 days. You give me the money today. 100,000 dirhams. You give me 98. You take 2. I'm cool with that. They'll be like, cool, let's do it. You got what I mean? But I can't do it. Because it's riba. But there's no halal option. Do you get what I mean? But the biggest, no, there isn't. No, there.
I'd like to hear your thoughts.
We come to it. Now, but that's me, Zarir. Now, if I go to a Sheikh, a Zarir, say, you can't do that, brother. Not allowed. But if I'm now on the Forbes top 100 and I have a huge business empire, then all of a sudden, as long as I take...
No, that's not true.
As long as I have 30%, less than 30% or something like that.
No, that's
see what I mean?
I'll tell you, that's not true at all.
I'm investable.
No, that's not true at all, bro. It's not true at all.
But Sheikh, I have a quick question before you go to that. Invoice factoring, in that definition, what makes it riba?
I was just going to ask that.
What makes it riba? So invoice factoring is, like, I'm going to get, let's say I'm selling my off-plan units. I'm going to get the 2,000 dirham per square foot, but I have to wait 5 years post-handover because I did a post-handover plan, right? I'm going to get 2,000 dirham in 5 years. A guy comes in and says, hey, Sam, I'll buy you out because I specialize in collecting debts. This is not your specialty. You're just a real estate developer. Keep doing what you're doing. I specialize in that. Take 1,800 dirham per square foot today.
Yeah.
Give me your accounts.
I don't see how, I don't
what's
see how
riba
that's
there?
Yeah, no, look, on this particular situation, you present it to a scholar, you see what the fatwa is. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, we want you to tell us.
The definition. The definition of riba is making money out of money.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? That's the definition of riba. But in that case, as Brother Sam mentioned, how you're not making money out of money.
Mohammed said it's okay, we're going to do it.
No,
Jokes aside. I'm saying if it's permissible, it's permissible. No one's got the right to make it haram. I'm not familiar with this particular surah, as they call it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna comment on something I haven't looked into, nor am I qualified to do so. But in terms of what you said, Akhi, I disagree with what you said, bro. Like, for example, Wahid, firstly, there is a school of thought, bro. There is a madhab that allows investing in that way, bro, where up to a third of that company's, was it liquidity or
assets? Basically,
assets is down to riba, and they have
liabilities,
evidences, bro, and they have scholars, and I don't agree with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'd like to agree with it. I don't agree with it, but I'd like to because it's in my interest to, but I don't.
Hear me. I'm saying, and they've had mashayikh from day one, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between what you're saying, right? I'm saying if someone, it's not like, oh, the fatwa got passed on their behalf. The person's going to beg.
No, I'm not saying that, Chief. What I'm saying is that...
What are you saying? Because that's what it sounds like.
I'll give you an example related to Wahid. You're going to beep the name of this company, okay? It's one of the biggest food companies in the world.
Right.
One of the biggest food companies in the world. When you walk into the supermarkets, most of the FMCG products that you see inside those, they own it.
Yep.
Even the ones that you would never imagine they own, and it's Muslim owned. It's Muslim owned. And the family, they're incredible Muslims. Incredible Muslims. They've invested in my company as well, Bani Auto Part, and they were one of the early investors in Wahid. You know? They invested more in Wahid than they did in me. It's okay. Maybe that will change.
Someone has
soon.
A mixed feeling.
But the point is that today they're having a debt restructuring. They're like incredible Muslims. Incredible Muslims.
Where are they from?
I've heard they're from India. The amount of charity that they do, that I know. God knows what I don't know. And it's never publicized. And like in the headline saying they're having debt restructuring, we're talking in the billions of dollars. The billions of dollars debt restructuring. Okay? So two things about that. Now, why are they doing debt restructuring? Is it because they're in a tight situation? I don't think so. I think that, and this is a smart move to do. When you're that big and you're too big to fail, even though you have billions of dollars of debt on your books, you control that debt. It doesn't control you. Because if you go south,
A lot of people
they
go
don't get
south
their
quickly.
money. They don't
Yeah.
get their money back. So they can renegotiate terms. We can say, no, we're going to pay you back after 50 years. We're going to be dead by then anyways. Or we're going to pay you back on this rate instead of that, which is what they're doing, which is apart from being very good Muslims, they're incredibly smart. They didn't reach that level. We're talking, the high tens of billions of dollars group without being incredibly smart, and Allah's tawfiq. But they're restructuring debt. Even them, they use debt to get to where they are. Now, I was speaking to the family member who invested in Bani Auto Part just last week. I told him, I'm like, this is the situation. We need to be able to provide credit so that we can scale quickly. And we'll have incredible margins as well. Because the cash price, credit price, is not the same. And so I said, I'm looking for a Sharia compliant solution. He said the Sharia compliant solution will be more expensive than the conventional one. It's like, if you can find it. You see what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that, I don't have a credit card. I don't even have a credit card. Do you get me? But if you, Boumeriam, and me, we want to see, and everybody else on this panel, we want to see more Muslim companies like the one that I just mentioned at that level. How can they do it?
Look, he's a prime example of you, bro. In order for him to do what he does, the real estate development space, the whole thing is riddled with the riba, bro. And not only that, he gives 50%, bro, to his investors. Whereas a bank would take how much from you? 5%?
4.5%.
4.5%? But he didn't.
But I want to mention one more thing, Sheikh, if you allow me. Oh, actually finished it. I'm so sorry.
I'm saying, bro, that's a weak excuse, bro. There's always a solution to it. There's always a solution. And you keep saying that they're good Muslims. They'll be better Muslims if they don't do riba. They should fear Allah Azza wa Jal, bro. Because it's not worth the hellfire. It's not worth the hellfire. Riba is not a joke. It's not a joke at all under any circumstance.
Yeah,
and just, no, 1 second. I actually just want to go to this because one of the things that we're incorporating now, inshallah, in every single episode is just some reminders, right, to people that make money. And the one that I have here, I think is actually very, very relevant to this thing that you're mentioning. By the way, this is not directing this to you. It's just the notion, the concept.
Bro, I'm a man, bro. You can direct anything to me. I ain't going to be emotional.
No, this is a very important point. So the reminder here, it's from Imam Ibn Qayyim rahimahulah's book, Ad-Dawa Dawa. It's actually about people that have money, people that have blessings that have been given to them by Allah Azza wa Jal, but they become deceived and thinking that they're in a good place with Allah. They get deceived into thinking that they're in a good place in this life and the next because of the blessings that they've been given. So Imam, I'm going to just read a few things. It's not going to take long, but I think it's appropriate now. He said, قال أبو الوفاء ابن عقيل. Ibn Aqil, a great Hanbali Imam, he said, احذره. He said, be cautious of Allah. ولا تغتر. And do not be deceived. i.e. by Allah's mercy. فإنه قطع اليد في 3 دراهم. Allah commanded for the hand of a man to be what? Cut off because of a quarter of a gold coin. Because of what? A quarter of a gold coin. i.e. 3 silver coins. وجلد الحد في مثل رأس الإبرة من الخمر. And for a person to be lashed for taking the smallest amount of alcohol. وقد دخلت امرأة النار في هرة. A woman was entered into the hellfire because of a cat she didn't feed, bro. واشتعلت الشملة نارا على من غلها وقد قتل شهيدا. A man at the time, Prophet he died as a shaheed, as a martyr, but he had taken from the war booty an imama. And the Prophet said, it's going to be hellfire for him. And the guy died a shaheed, bro. So a person shouldn't think.
And he took a turban.
Turban, bro.
For those who
a
know.
turban. And it's going to be fire for him. And he died. He gave his flesh for Allah's sake in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? So, Imam bin said, وهذه الكلمة الواحدة يتكلم بها العبد يهوي بها في النار أبعد ما بين المشرق والمغرب. A man can say a statement and it will take him into the hellfire, or make him drop into the hellfire distance that's greater than the distance of the east and the west. right? He said, وَرُبَّمَا اتَّكَلَ بَعْضَ الْمُخْتَرِّينَ عَلَى مَا يَرَى مِنْ نِعْمِ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ فِي الدُّنْيَا. And he said, it could be that sometimes some of these people that are deceived, they get deceived by some of the blessings Allah has given to them in the dunya. Look at my money, must mean Allah loves me, Allah honors me. And look, I give charity as well. Allah must love me so much. Look at this houses that I have. You must have seen how many rich people that take riba somehow think that they're so good with Allah. I don't know if you've seen this. Sometimes you see the most people that are doing some of the greatest sins, bro. Allah ka fazala, they say in Pakistan, right? They say by the fadl of Allah. And the guy's a shaitan. The guy's a shaitan, but he gives what? He gives one to sadaqah. He prays what? Jum'ah here and there, and so on and so forth. He said, وَأَنَّهُ لَا يُغَيَّرُ بِهِ وَيَظُنُّ أَنَّ ذَلِكَ مِنْ مَحَبَّةِ اللَّهِ لَهُ. He thinks that all this, Allah loves me, right? وَأَنَّهُ يُعْطِيهِ فِي الْآخِرَةِ أَفْضَلْ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. And he thinks in the akhirah, Allah's going to give me more than Allah has given me here. وَهَذَا مِنَ الْغُرُورِ. He said, this from deception. And then he mentions that the Prophet ﷺ said, إذا رأيت الله عز وجل يعطي العبد من الدنيا على معاصيه ما يحب فإنما هو الاستدراج. The Prophet ﷺ said, Hadith Muslim Imam Ahmed, that if you see Allah has given a slave something from the dunya and he's sinning and Allah has given him things that he loves, فإنما هو استدراج. Then it is what? Istidraj. What's istidraj? Istidraj is one of the scariest punishments that Allah gives. And it's one of the severest punishments that Allah gives. You know why? Because it comes out of nowhere. Istidraj, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, سَنَسْتَدْرِجُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ وَأُمْلِي لَهُمْ إِنَّ كَيْدِي مَتِينٌ. Allah said, this is one of Allah's plans against His enemies that's very mighty. And how is it mighty? Subhanahu wa ta'ala. By Him allowing you, giving you more. And let me give you more. You want more? Let me give you more. Let me give you, oh, you want more money? I'll give you more. But it's whilst you're sinning. It's to deceive you and thinking, you know what, Allah loves me. So He keeps giving. He keeps giving success. Doors keep opening. Women keep coming in. Cars keep coming. Deals keep coming. His status keeps rising. And he is thinking, I'm good. And then Allah said, وَأُمْلِي لَهُمْ وَنُمْلِي لَهُمْ. I let him live. I let him enjoy this for long. 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And then what does Allah Azza wa Jal say? He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَلَمَّا نَسُوا مَا ذُكِّرُوا بِهِ فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَتَّى إِذَا فَرِحُوا بِمَا أُوتُوا أَخَذْنَاهُمْ بَغْتَةً فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْلِسُونَ. Allah says, suddenly I snatch him. When he's in the height of his happiness and when he's in the height of his what? His joy. وقال بعض السلف. This is why some of the Imams of the Salaf, they said, إِذَا رَأَيْتَ اللَّهَ يُتَابِعُ نِعَمَهُ عَلَيْكَ وَأَنْتَ مُقِيمٌ عَلَى مَعَاصِيهِ فَاحْذَرْهُ. If you see that Allah is giving you blessing after blessing whilst you are sinning, then be warned.
Ya Allah.
Be warned. فَإِنَّمَا هُوَ إِسْتِدْرَاجٌ يَسْتَدْرِجُكَ بِهِ. It's Allah giving you this extension in these blessings during your sin, and then He's going to rip you up. فَقُطِعَ دَابِرُ الْقَوْمِ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا. Allah said, Allah ripped from the roots the evil people. And then وَالْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Right? So, look, قال بعض السلف ربما مستدرج بنعم الله عليه وهو لا يعلم. It could be a man, he's literally being plotted against right now. Allah is doing this to him right now, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's trapping him in his sins and his blessings, right? ربما مغرور بستر الله عليه وهو لا يعلم. ربما مفتون بثناء الناس عليه وهو لا يعلم. Sometimes people are praising him, saying, what a great man, right? And he's deceived by it, but he has no clue. And the last thing that I'll mention here, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says that, you know, this dunya, He doesn't care about it. Allah doesn't care about this dunya. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, it's not even comparable, it's not even in the sight of Allah, janaha ba'udha. It's not even the wing of a fly. It doesn't even compare to the wing of a fly. A fly is something dirty, it goes on feces, and even just one wing of it, this dunya doesn't compare. It means nothing to Allah Azza wa Jal. This dunya, Allah said, لَجَعَلْنَا لِمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالرَّحْمَنِ لِبُيُوتِهِمْ سُقَفًا مِّن فِضَّةٍ وَمَعَارِجَ عَلَيْهَا يَظْهَرُونَ. The ayah goes on. Allah said, if this dunya, Allah cared about it, He would have given to these disbelievers houses that are where the roofs are made of silver, right? And high places. Like, Allah gives this dunya to the disbelievers. He doesn't really care anything of it, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet this dunya is what will earn the displeasure of Allah. This dunya is what we'll go to war with each other over. It's what we'll cut family ties over. It's what we'll do riba over. It's this dunya that will what? Earn Allah's anger over. So it's not something small. It's not something small, right? So, sorry for going on that monologue, but I think it's important to just put things into perspective.
No, I'm glad you did. Wallah.
Barakallah feek. But with that said, there's always a solution, there's always an option. Like this brother's done.
Sheikh, I wanted to quickly mention something Brother Zarir mentioned, and it's brought up quite often in Islamic financing. Like the Sharia compliant products are more expensive.
Wallah, you read my mind now. I wanted to come to that point, please.
Yeah, so I was also from the thought process why it's rip-off, why are they doing it? But there's nuance to it. Nuance being the word of the day.
Yeah.
So some of them...
We make merchandise that says nuance.
Yeah, so nuance, yeah. Some of them, actually, they could make it more economic, right? But they intentionally don't because it's a monopoly. It's for them, like, halas, like
Take it or leave it. What choice do you have?
If
you want to do the right thing, pay for it.
Yeah, like mashallah, the mortgage company we have in Michigan.
The one that's owned by a Jew.
Yeah, it's owned by a Jewish gentleman, I like to say. He owns he owns a bank, and the bank owns the Islamic finance company, and it's very expensive Islamic financing. But people still get it, right? Because what are you going to do?
They sleep good at night.
Yes, this is the only option you got. Then there is the other side of it. For example, right now, as we speak, like what's the issue of the week for me? Issue of the week for me is getting the Sharia board approval first, initially, we wanted to do a DIFC fund, right? But we're actually moving it from DIFC jurisdiction to SCA, which is actually bigger than DIFC, Securities and Commodities Authority. Basically, that's the main of UAE on the mainland instead of being a free zone. DIFC is a free zone and SCA is in the mainland, right? Onshore. The main reason of moving it there is the Sharia board. Because in DIFC, the Sharia board is super expensive. Why is it expensive? It comes to supply and demand, brother. Sometimes. I truly believe in this case, it is supply and demand. There's 5,000 farms registered in DIFC. Only a few have Sharia window. So there is not enough demand for them to supply it. So now for them to supply it, it's actually extra cost for them to make it happen, right? Now, the only way to make it, even SCA, so we're going it, because SCA is probably 1/3 of the cost of the Sharia board. But still, it's going to cost us yearly close to 60 to 70,000 USD just to keep the Sharia stamp on our fund. 60 to 70,000 USD. And it will be, and of course, that fund is not just a development that we're going to do in Majan. There's many real estate products. They have to review it and whatnot. But imagine now there's more supply, right? Or, I mean, there's more demand. More funds wanted, more brother Zarir, more brother Mohamed, more ourselves. Like, we need this, we need this, we need this. Automatically, there will be more supply. It's just, I think, supply and demand game. Automatically, the price will come down.
That's with your Sharia board requirement. When it comes to debt facilities,
even it's more expensive.
It's completely different because at the end of the day, if a Sharia, like invoice factoring, if a riba-based invoice factoring is taking 2%.
Don't take 10.
And a Sharia-compliant one is doing 1.75. Then not only will more Muslims benefit from it, but non-Muslims will use it as well. They're not going to be like, James isn't going to be like, no, because it's Sharia. I'm not going to use it. He's going to go. You see what I mean?
I tell you what the issue is. The issue is this, in my humble opinion, is that debt is not something that you're supposed to profit off in the first place. And the Muslims, the reason why you will look at it being more expensive, these Islamic Sharia debt-based solutions as more expensive, is because you're comparing it with the non-Muslims, right? These guys, they've made debt something that they can profit off of. Now, Muslims, it's not debt, right? It's supposed to be musharaka, it's supposed to be mudaraba, right? It's supposed to be a type of investment. Right? And when I'm investing, if I'm deploying capital, I got the right to ask for more back. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, whether it really is mudaraba, whether it really is musharaka, or
that's the question.
That's another question, right? And I mean, till now, I have not seen one that actually is, and I think you'll agree, right? And you've seen more than me, right? But the fact of the matter is that in concept, in theory, like we don't. Debt is a sadaqah. It's a charity loans are a charity that you give people that are in need in our religion, which is why you get rewarded for it. But when it comes to business, I'm going to give you money. No, I need it. Yeah, down below it's going to be expensive because I'm investing in you. I'm giving you money. I'm giving you capital. So give me more back. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's actually healthy.
Yeah, but Maryam, I agree with you in principle.
Yeah.
But then what you ask for in return has to be in line relative to what other people are getting for the similar amount of capital that they're deploying. Whether that's debt or
cost
equity or whatever.
Basically.
Yes, exactly. You get what I mean? You can't say that, James is giving it to you and getting this back, but Jafar is giving it to you and getting this plus that back. It needs to be, that needs to be taken, even though it is an investment.
Yep.
That needs to be taken into consideration as well. You cannot just use the Sharia card to get more.
Go ahead, brother. You haven't spoken.
No, I agree with you, right? But I'm talking like from first principles, right? That as in, if a person's coming as an investor, right? Is coming as an investor, then he's got the right to ask for.
Brother, I'm just trying to imagine in my mind a world where these billion-dollar companies that are owned...
They're not investors, it's actually just debt.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to imagine in my mind a world where these multi-billion-dollar companies that are owned by Muslims that have banking facilities don't. And I can't see it today based on like what I see of the world at present. I'm not talking absolutely. I'm sure there are ways, but is that way, does it exist today in the world that we live in? Can they do that? Can they flip the switch? Can, like, you know, I go to my friend or his father and tell him, like, exactly what you just said, open the book and read it from, and say, he's going to tell, okay, what other option do I have?
I mean, I'll
there
listen.
is, but does it exist? That's what I'm saying.
I'll speak from my own experience. I was on both sides of the fence at one point in time, especially when I was working with my father. In the sense that, unfortunately, it's not something we're very proud of. Because we were part of a larger group that, you know, went public, and we had corporate facilities from the bank. So you get the corporate facilities on a holding group level, and then they get distributed to the subsidiaries, which our company was one of them. And unfortunately, not all of them were Islamic. But like he said, you sometimes put in a situation, especially in construction, where you have 90, sometimes 120 days lead until you get paid. Where are you going to pay your salaries? Where are you going to get paid supplies? Where are you going to do this and that? So I understand, and I'm sympathetic with how difficult it can be sometimes when you're forced in that situation. But it shouldn't change the fact, and it should not change the golden rule that it is wrong.
I agree with you 100%.
And that you should never change. What I'm trying to say is that the rule should remain the rule. And the rule is there for a reason. And I'm going to go even further and say that the rule is there for a reason, and it should never change, because the way that I view it is because riba, usury, basically is, like we said, making money out of money, but it goes a lot deeper than that. It sort of promotes laziness, and it sort of promotes this idea of really not creating the proper value.
Not only that, it should be not there, it should also be followed, because the darar of not following it.
Well, that's why I'm saying it, because what happens is the reason why riba is haram in the first place is because if you look at it over the span of a long period of time, you'll notice that the disparity between the rich and the poor gets bigger. And bigger and bigger and bigger, and the people that are stuck in the bottom will always stay in the bottom, and the people at the top will always stay at the top. And over time, you're going to find basically a slave and a top 1% sort of society, which goes against any of our teachings, and that's the main reason for it. So what I'm trying to say is that that's the key. That's the key. The key is it was put there to sort of maintain a good equilibrium in the society. Brother Sam actually told me the most interesting thing ever, and I didn't know this, that up to 70% of real estate during the Ottoman Empire was built through Waqfs.
Yep.
Imagine, 70% in Istanbul.
No, I told him before.
70%.
Wow.
Imagine. So imagine how much better life would be when you don't do riba. So the rule is there for rule. It should not break. But we should always strive and do our absolute best to stay away from it. Because again, it goes back to the self. Like we said about immigrants. It starts with one person. And then you compound it. But if every person does really the best that he can possibly do to avoid it, imagine how much better the society as a whole.
So I just like to comment a few things on what you've just said, right? Barakallah fi. I'm happy you guys are bringing this conversation, because these are real life situations that people are running into. So look, firstly, I love what you said. Number one, the rule is the rule. Riba is haram, right?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, there is a concept in our Sharia called darura, right? Called necessity.
Yeah.
Is that when a person is in a state of necessity, they can do certain things that may be haram usually, but in this situation, it might even be obligatory for you to do.
For a temporary period of time.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So that exists. Now, the issue here is that it's not on us to make that call. The issue is that this is why it's absolutely necessary that we have scholars, we have people of knowledge, and not just any scholar, right? There are many scholars, but scholars that have combined between understanding of the Sharia when it comes to finance and the world in which we live in, right? And there's not many of them. There's more than you might think, but there's also not many of them. They're usually hard to reach. Does that make sense? But if you've got a sheikh that comes to you and he says to you, look, I have spent 30, 40 years studying the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal and understanding these different financial products and so on and so forth, and understanding the circumstances, state affairs that Muslims are in. And based on that, your situation, your circumstance, I'm telling you, this is what is permissible for you, inshallah ta'ala. Now, you're safe with Allah. You're safe with Allah. And for me, that's the
You've
culture.
exhausted your options.
You've done it. That's it.
Yep.
And this is something, a culture that I just wish and I beg our brothers and our audience to start to adopt. We talked about it briefly in the previous episode. Right? There needs to be a sheikh on your C-suite. Right?
Yeah.
Or at least you know how you hire consultants for certain jobs if you don't need the person day in, day out.
CMO, Sheikh Mufti Officer.
Yeah, you got to have a CMO, the Sheikh Mufti Officer, man, the senior Mufti Officer, or CFO, sorry, the senior fatwa officer.
The woman in the workforce, they're not gonna like it, chief.
What I'm trying to get at is that having that there because there is, like, for example, Wahid, again, I don't want to go into it in too much detail, but the fatwa that's there is that there's a principle in the Sharia, which is that a third of something, less than a third is little. Less than a third of something in our deen is considered little, right? And where this comes from is the hadith of Sa'ad ibn Abi Waqqas radiallahu anh. He wanted to what? He wanted to give all of his wealth away, or a large amount of his wealth away as charity from his estate when he died. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Al-thuluthu wa thuluthu kathir." He said, no, just a third, Sa'ad. And a third is a lot. So the scholars took from that anything less than a third is
Not a lot.
is not a lot. Right?
I'm gonna abuse this principle.
No, don't.
No, but
You leave it to the sheikh.
not in business.
Yeah, I'm saying the sheikh. So
Honestly, I only did it like less than a third.
this comes in many different chapters of fiqh, right? Not just in finance. It's not just in finance. So what they're saying is look, a third and above in terms of riba for this company that you're investing in is too much. They're not saying you're allowed to use riba in your business. They're saying, no, if you wanted to invest in a company, right, that is engaging in riba, if it's more than a third, then no, we can't invest in that company. If it's less than a third, it could be 2%, 3%, 10%, 15%. They said then, based on this principle, we know it's little. This is not saying that you can have a little bit of riba in your business. You're investing in a company.
But what they're saying
Hear me.
is what they're saying is that they can invest in my business if I have a little bit of riba.
Hear me. And by the way, I'm oversimplifying the discussion. There's so many gaps to what I'm leaving, so I'm hoping people can have the maturity to know that. Don't make decisions based on what I'm saying here. I'm just trying to bring some substance and context to the conversation, right? Now, the second layer is this. There's a concept in our religion called tathirul mal, which is purification of the wealth. Which is that, okay, if I know that there's only a little bit of haram in this and I didn't have control over it, now, number one, it's a little. So based on this fatwa, I can get involved. Number two, I'm going to purify the wealth. So any gains that I made that were proportionate to the amount of riba that was in that particular stock, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of it. Does that make sense? So these are principles in fiqh. These are principles in Islamic finance, in Islamic law. And there's more nuances to it as well, so on and so forth. But what I'm saying is that these are discussed. This is the way that the scholars are looking at it.
I think this is what he meant. Like, there's always a solution. That there's our deen is very flexible. That you can find ways around.
No, so that's not what I meant, right?
What you meant is that no.
Yeah.
what I was trying to say is that what you meant is that there are ways where
You can structure things. Yes.
exactly where you can structure in terms of in instances of necessity.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm going one step further, and I'm saying that, okay, cool. Let's just say that you had to do something because of a necessity, and that necessity, just make sure your neck is free on the day of judgment. It's the Sheikh you're going to point at when Allah asks you.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you know what he just did? Go ahead.
It's the Sheikh that you're going to point at. But then at the same time, Muslims don't want to just live in necessity, right? Which is why we're talking about, okay, cool, this BDS screening, that's one step above. The fact that Wahid even had this conversation where they brought this concept of Sharia compliance to a global stage, right? And put it in lights where people are now starting to consider it at this level. Fantastic. Now, how it's about getting ourselves out of this mess. What's the next step? The next step, the next step, the next step. Do you understand? So I'm saying all of this is possible. All this is possible. Like, for example, this Waqf system. This could solve the kind of problems that you're having. Like, one of the discussions that we're having right now with some of like our people behind the scenes is creating a Waqf just to invest in Muslim businesses, right? We don't profit off it. The Waqf profits of it. The whole concept is that you compound this wealth to create more wealth to put back in Muslim businesses. Because in this day and age, Muslim businesses struggle with liquidity. They struggle with cash flow, right? So instead of having to go to a bank, but they're going to have to what? Pay riba. Or, take investors' money where they're going to have to give more away than they want to. This Waqf will give them this money as a loan, or not even a loan, as an investment. Won't ask for anything back except for the gains that you give. That money will go back into the Waqf to invest in more businesses.
My question about Waqf.
God.
But before that, you know what he was trying to do with you?
What?
He was trying to do a Piers Morgan on you. He's trying to be smart. He's trying to tell you. You said that, but he's Piers Morgan ain't got nothing on Imran Ibn Mansur. He's like, no, that's not what I said.
No, but
what? Go on.
No, I'm saying. I understood. Maybe I didn't express it properly. Is that
you indirectly attempted a Piers Morgan on him?
No, he didn't. He's been genuine. His point was
there are solutions. A person that feels very frustrated or helpless, there's a solution for him. That's what I'm saying. And there's always a way where you could really. But he said the most important is having a third party liable to give you that proper fatwa.
That's
Mariam, one day you're going to be on Piers Morgan.
Inshallah.
And it's going to be. And they
invited me,
He invited you?
They invited me,
yeah. Bro, it would have been his dream come true to have you on.
I would have gone along.
He would have brought up those viral videos from back in the day.
Anyway, go on.
Waqf, you're talking about a Waqf system investing in companies, in early stage Muslim companies. Isn't Waqf, for me, when somebody says Waqf, the definition in my head, and I know you like definitions, is that it's the smartest way to do a charity.
No, absolutely wrong. There's a principle in the chapter of Waqf, which is Shart al-Waqif kanas al-Shari', which is that the condition that the man who makes the Waqf, places on the Waqf is like an ayah from Allah.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
So the condition of the Waqf, that this,
as long as halal.
The money is going into this asset that's going to produce income and perpetuity.
Yes.
And it should go to this purpose.
Yes.
The purpose isn't usually like some amal khair, or it could be anything.
This is amal khair though. This is amal khair.
Okay.
This is amal khair.
Okay.
You're thinking it has to be to muhtajeen, fuqara.
Yes, exactly.
No. It could be for whatever khair you want it to be.
Could be even Muslim media ecosystem that you want to create.
Yeah, 100%.
Could be anything.
Any maslaha for the Muslims. Any maslaha. This is something bi'idhnillah we're working on, inshallah ta'ala. Right? So tell me if you can relate. So you go to pray salah while you're at work, but you're rushing because your boss has put a timer on your worship. People are saying things about Islam. Maybe they're even talking in pro-Zionist terms, but you have to keep quiet to protect your job. If that sounds like something that you relate to, then don't worry. I'm not saying you're a bad person. It's just that you're in a bad system. Many of us find ourselves stuck in the rat race. We want to escape so we can be free, but at the same time, you need this work. Otherwise, you're going to be in a very bad place. So for that reason, I want to share with you an opportunity that I've come across from a brother who's helped so many people like yourselves break out of this rat race. The brother's name is Abu Lahya. He's got a very simple program. he helps people like yourself connect business owners to influencers, strike a deal and pocket the difference. Super simple, right? And guess what? Also super effective, Allahumma barik. But it's not easy. It requires a lot of hard work. His students have already made $3 million plus in combined income, mashallah, tabarakallah. And in the next year, they're projected to do $10 million. We've sent people from this very channel to go and join his mentorship, and their lives have completely changed. Most will make their first sale, inshallah ta'ala, within 90 days, and 96% of his students make money if they follow the roadmap that he lays out for them. These are real people. We're talking about fathers who are struggling to spend time with their children. We're talking about students who are struggling to get married. We're talking about slaves of Allah who wanted to worship Allah and didn't want to, worship a paycheck. We're talking about brothers that were one bill away from breaking. Now, the best part about this is that you don't actually have to leave your job. You can do this on the side until you make enough money, until that security is there with Allah's permission to actually make that change and become financially independent. Look, from this program, you're not going to become a millionaire, but what you are going to become, inshallah, is free. So in summary, if you're tired of rushing your salah because your boss doesn't like you taking long breaks, and you want to make good, healthy, decent, and consistent income, inshallah ta'ala, then you should definitely apply for Abu Lahya's mentorship at the link below, inshallah ta'ala. It's not easy to get into. They're super picky about who they let in. It requires hard work, but it works. It genuinely works. With that said, you can apply at the link below. With that said, let's transition our conversation to Waqf. What's a Waqf, brother?
You're reading the chapter, Sheikh. Come on, Sheikh. Now you explain to us the Islamic definition.
You explain it to us.
I thought you were going to transition to polygamy. Huh? It's been an hour and a half, brother. We need something to wake us up.
I think we're awake. What's up?
So Waqf, Sheikh, as I understand it, it's basically capital locked in is the key word in a productive asset. That's another key word that generates cash flow in perpetuity. And that cash flow goes towards the cause as dictated by the Waqf itself. So that's in a nutshell what endowment is, right? So for example, now let's define. So capital locked in, that's it. You cannot, what does lock in mean? You cannot sell it. Nobody can inherit it. Nobody can do nothing to that property. It's capital locked in not a property, an asset, a productive asset. What is a productive asset? So productive asset is not gold. It's not crypto. It's not art. These don't produce anything, right, Sheikh? So productive asset, it could be a company, shares in a company. It could be even intellectual property, right, that produces something. It could be books. It could be a Quran. It could be anything. It could be a shop. Yeah, it could be properties, real estate. Anything that produces cash flow, and then you dictate what that cash flow will be used towards, right? And then you find your causes. So the causes could be media empire, fighting Islamophobia, whatever the cause is that you are personally attached to, you care about, mental health for Muslims, Muslim kids going into violence, or Muslim kids, fatherless Muslim kids, anything,
academia,
think tanks, academia, whatever cause you want to support,
health, cancer research,
you just marriage,
right? All of that.
Absolutely, Sheikh. So this is how I understand it.
So barakallah feek, man, and this is one of the beauties of Al-Islam, and a lot of as barakallah feek, I didn't know that. So 70% of
Ottoman
real estate was produced by
Waqf. And not even state Waqf. It was so much encouraged. Like their what were the ministers called? Like viziers and grand viziers and pashas. That was their encouragement. They were getting salary from the state. Majority of it went through their personal Waqf.
So to give people an example from the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the Waqf of Uthman radiallahu anhu. So Uthman, when he came to Medina, he purchased a water supply for the Muslims. Right? It was a Jewish man who owned it at the time, and the Muslims needed water. So Uthman radiallahu anhu, he purchased it. Now that well it still produces water till today, and there's a Waqf called the Waqf of Uthman ibn Affan in Medina, a bank account in which money comes from the dates that are produced from the water that Uthman, basically...
Ma'ruf.
And that enters into a bank account until today. that money is used and spread in charitable causes.
Oh.
So this is,
Does anybody know how much money it produces
I'm sure
annually?
it's a lot, man. It's there's a whole hotel
Yes.
in Medina called the Waqf of Uthman ibn Affan. It's managed by his Waqf. So there's
So there's a
amazing.
hotel in Medina
yeah.
that's managed by, like, I don't get it. How
know the
is
details,
the
but I just know it's
well
good.
linked to the hotel?
You know
The income that comes out of
the hotel.
that well, the water that produces the date palm and selling those dates,
Finances
that
the
income finances all these things.
Yeah, but did he,
People can stay in
like,
Medina.
what was his shart?
Anything
created-
serving the people of Medina.
Uh-huh.
So point being is that Uthman radiallahu an is getting reward till today. You know what I'm saying? And this is I think, the Waqf concept is like the perfect balance in a capitalistic society.
Yep.
Whereas capitalists money just keeps spiraling up to the top. People got so much money that they're gonna live and die, and then their kids are gonna live and die, and their kids are gonna live and die, and they won't be able to exhaust it. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's no encouragement of morality. in
Exactly
pure
right.
capitalistic
But-
society.
and
But in the Islamic concept, in Islamic paradigms, that you take that money and you create a waqf, and this is going to last until the day of judgment, inshallah ta'ala, or until however long Allah decrees for it to last. It can never be bought, can never be sold, and it's going to forever produce, liquidity, or it's going to produce resources that will aid any particular cause. And the reason I want to discuss this in our episode today is because this has been dead, or underutilized by the Muslims for a very long time. You see, Muslims are extremely charitable. They're extremely charitable, akhi.
But they do the one-off, they don't do the waqf,
But
the
they don't
waqf
do
type.
waqf. And the reason why I think that they don't do it is because
They don't know of it.
number one, they don't know of it. Number two, it's hard for a charity to manage a waqf when because you can't necessarily earn money from it, right? Like, for example, when someone gives me a donation, I can say I'm taking 50% of it towards what? The admin and salaries and so on and so forth. But like a waqf, if you're going to manage it properly, let's just say you give me 3 million and I invest it and we're getting 10% returns. How much is that annually?
300,000. Yep.
That might not be enough, bro. Like to like for all the administrative costs, depending on how big the project is.
But I wanted to ask a question about that. Like waqfs that last over decades.
Yeah.
How are they administered? Okay, so now there's the own.
إدارة الأوقاف in every country. Or in every jurisdiction, there's إدارة الأوقاف. So basically, there's an entity from the government that manages waqfs for generations and generations and generations, whatever. The
So
waqf,
it's not a private administrator.
no. It's a government administration. Like, for example, in Qatar, where I used to live, they had إدارة الأوقاف.
حتى هني.
Yeah.
Even here, yeah.
Yeah, I know. They were one of my
and
clients.
obviously
at
here,
Ernst
it's the
Young.
same thing.
Or if it
In a
doesn't.
non-Muslim country.
No, but I'm saying in the
privatizing.
Ottomans, they had a Idarat Awqaf as well that used to administer these waqfs.
Yep.
Or was it private?
No, for
Private
them,
administration.
for them it
There
was
was a-
government level. But now, if we want to do it in a non-Muslim country, of course, the government's not going to come and manage it.
It doesn't have to be
Yeah.
done at a government level.
Yeah, but if it's a private administrator, it like the plan may be to last until Yom ad-Din.
Yes.
But then over centuries,
Of course, and
Yeah.
many
things can go left.
No, many awqaf die out, right?
Yeah.
Many die out, but and it's obviously the anomaly that remain. But and that's why we say Uthman radiallahu anhu, it was his ikhlas, it was his sincerity that caused that waqf to live for so long with Allah's permission. But I think the one of the reasons
What's the
why,
ayah?
huh?
ما عند الله بات
وما عند
There's
الله يبقى.
يبقى
Yeah.
لا
وما عند الله باق.
باق.
Yeah.
ما عند الله باق.
What is with Allah remains. So point being is that I think the issue with these awqaf is that, like I said, if we just walk people through the numbers, let's just say you got 3 million in your first year, yeah? And that 3 million, let's just say it produces 10%. And that's 300,000.
Yep.
Now you've got to put a significant portion of that back in for the waqf to keep growing and compounding, right? So the amount that you can actually take for administrative costs is what? Very little. Which means that you can't really make a lot of money through these.
Yeah.
A lot of charities, even though it's non-for-profit, as in
So
there's
that's
no
why they don't
shareholders,
propose.
but people who work in the charities
Yeah.
make a lot of money. The celebrities and the influencers that they hire and they pay $50,000, $100,000 for them to attend an event, they make a lot of money. Awqaf usually can't afford those type of marketing bills. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's very beneficial. And I was talking to this brother Jazakallahu khairan. He's actually went and studied in Medina. He's also a marketing genius, mashallah, tabarakallah. And you know, he's the CEO of something called Waqf Australia, right? So you can see, man, like how it grows. And I love this visual because it's these type of things that I think can show people the possibility and the benefit in these type of Waqf. So if I put $25 in as a donation today, right, the Waqf value in 100 years will increase to, as in that donation, that 25, in terms of the Waqf value becomes 276. And in terms of the charity that gets distributed and deployed from that is 413. 413 what? Dollars. That's if I put 25 today. Now imagine I'm putting 25 every month for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, right? But now, imagine, right, that we put in 10,000, right, within 100 years. Just that one 10,000 in terms of Waqf value is 110,000.6, i.e. the Waqf keeps growing, right?
Yes.
You've not depleted the money. And we're talking what?
72K dispersed.
No, 165,000 in terms of what was distributed. Do you know what I'm saying?
What are they in? What assets are they investing in?
I think, I'm not sure, man. They usually, you give this over to like a wealth manager or something, right? And
investment committee. There has to be an investment committee basically that oversees what kind of investments do they put the money in. There has to be a committee.
But I think most of it is real estate, right?
Most of them are properties, but then again, investment committee makes sure there's no conflict of interest and those kind of things.
Sorry.
If you put 100,000 in, 1.1 million is the Waqf value, and 1.7 million gets distributed. So the point is that I love this, man.
Yeah.
Like, as in, I love this. And one of the things that I loved when I was speaking to the CEO, Jazakallahu khairan, a crazy marketing technique he told me about, man, what he did. Like,
I like crazy techniques.
I'm so impressed. Is that they made a will service, right? And it's called MuslimWills.com.
I see where you're going with this.
Right? And they're targeting baby bloomers because based on numbers, right, their life expectancy is expected to expire now over the next 10, 20 years. Only Allah knows, and with His tawfiq.
People who were born in the 60s.
Yeah, this is the time that they 50, 60, after World War II.
Yeah.
It's those guys from that generation that now they're
on the way out.
And they're also very wealthy.
Because they were disciplined.
Yeah,
very wealthy.
They were.
And those are the guys that benefited, a lot. And they've been saving, stacking, and so on. So their wealth has been growing for years. So what they do is that it's a $99 will service. And there you can just tick, I want to leave a third of my estate to Waqf Australia upon my demise. So he told me they had 300 plus people that use the service. Of them, 115 committed, 3 or 4 of which died in the past year, earning them about $400,000, $500,000, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying?
Amazing.
Wow. Do you know what I'm saying? So
we need the small fish to get the big fish.
Yeah. But this is, I think when we talk about Islamic finance, when we talk about Islamic economics, we can't not talk about these topics, you know what I'm saying? Because these are big solutions.
I mean, the underlying concept for all of this, if you think about it, is the fact that Islamic finance in its essence encourages that money exchanges hands even after you pass.
Yes.
It cannot stay with you and you will not take it to the grave, because if you do, then that in itself goes against our teachings, right? It should exchange hands, because when it exchanges hands, it circulates within the economy and it creates employment for people. And that's the whole point of Waqf, of paying zakat, of doing all of those things. So I find it fascinating how people don't even grasp that concept, because the whole point of not using riba and all the other things and just using Islamic financial instruments is to promote well-being for the rest of the Muslims, even when you pass, so that everybody can maintain a respectful, minimal, let's say, a standard of living.
100%.
طال عمرك I will do. I had always, I've committed to myself that I will do a waqf حتى يوم أنا حي. كذا, for anyone who needs legal fees for divorce. Any men that need legal fees for divorce, my Waqf will take care of all of you. Don't worry about it.
Akhi, this is a big, no,
This is a big one. It's actually a good
this is
one.
that's what I'm saying. Akhi.
Yeah.
So look, this is what I was saying, right? So man can only
We're
scream
gonna go viral
darura.
on
We can
Instagram.
only scream darura for so long, right?
Yeah.
Until we create solutions for ourselves. Well, the Sharia holistically has solutions for all of these things. Now, instead of you just getting instant gratification, I see an emotional ad on TV and I just give some money. Okay, give, you should. But then start thinking about, it's like, for example, bro, am I going to spend this money on a Gucci hat right now? I'm going to put this money away into, Sam's, fund. Like, as in, this is going to compound. You know what I'm saying? And this is going to be an instant gratification. It's going to expire after first couple of usages. Like that with our charity, we should also think in those terms, man. And you want to say something?
Yes,
Last
real
question
quick,
for you.
even one Waqf could be like what we started the podcast with.
Yeah.
If each person, let's say, Sheikh, your heritage is from Pakistan, Syria, Persia, Bangladesh, right? So imagine like when we go to the West, Sheikh, and we have one Waqf set up, because you can set up multiple causes. Like, hey, anybody coming from our heritage, we would like to take care of everyone, but at least you take care of your heritage. Like this Waqf is meant for those families. Let's say there's not a working father.
Yep.
And 3 kids, the mom came.
Yep.
So instead of them being insulted and begging and humiliated and mom going out to work and all that, you support your people
SubhanAllah, you know what you just said?
through that Waqf.
The Iranians, they have this.
Yeah.
And they have it not only in Iran, they have it outside of Iran, in India and Pakistan.
Yeah.
So the Parsi community?
Yeah, oh, yes.
Parsi communities,
It's a big community.
the
Big
Bata,
minority community.
Tata? Don't know Tata?
Tata is like bye.
Huh?
Where I'm from, Tata is bye.
So the Tata family, they're, the Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay, one of the
Yes,
best hotels in the world,
Yeah.
the Taj.
Taj, yeah.
It's like
They have it here as well, yeah.
Yeah, but the one there,
Yeah, of course.
Chief, it's like Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
It's like, you almost one of the wonders of the world.
I don't ever plan to go.
You will love the afternoon tea there. It's owned by the Tatas. Tatas, a Persian family from Iran. They immigrated to India at the time of the British.
Mhm.
And when they left, now they were Zoroastrian.
Mhm.
So they set up a Waqf.
Oh, really? There was a restaurant.
There were Zoroastrians.
The
So
Parsis are Zoroastrians, yeah.
yes. They set up a Waqf system that takes care of Zoroastrians all over the world, even in India and Pakistan.
There you go. Right. Yeah.
Now, so in India, like downtown Bombay, and I'm guessing in Karachi and all the major cities, there are communities, like when I say communities, like gated communities, like Damak gated communities. Okay?
Where's this? Downtown where?
Downtown cities in Karachi and in Bombay, where there are Zoroastrian Iranians living there.
Wow.
That live in like crazy subsidized housing in central locations with very good services and amenities that are all paid for by the Tata Endowment.
There is a Jewish foundation in Michigan. They do the same thing for elderly people for any housing repairs. So they're elderly people. So the roof needs to be replaced. It's a $15,000 bill. That endowment takes care of it. As long as you're elderly, living in the house, you apply, you get it. So there's so many things that could be done.
Yeah.
And
this is honestly this endowment thing, bro. It's the options are endless.
We're the pioneers of it.
Yes,
I'm the world today.
True.
And I'm just wondering. And by the way, there's this concept. Yeah, you're right. It comes from us. It doesn't exist.
No, we're the pioneers of it.
in non-Muslim societies.
Yes, but non-Muslims, like you were talking about, in a purely capitalistic society, even them, if they were aware of this, they would flow towards it. Why? Because if you're a pure 100% extremist capitalist, what is your main goal in life apart from accumulating money? It's legacy.
Yeah.
It's your name to live after you die.
Which is why they do now. They
And
have these, they have
that
these
happens
endowments.
when you have an endowment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But sorry, I was going to mention something, but that's actually a very, very, very important point that people should always remember. Until when you do an endowment, the legacy that you leave is for the sake of Allah, not for the
Yeah, true.
So that's but it's super, super important because if the waqf is done in the intention that is to create legacy for me, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because it's for the sake of Allah, for the sake of creating and providing and getting hasanat even after you're gone and providing for the
That's
people
why I
that
said
you...
even an extremist capitalist,
Yeah.
اللي ما عنده Allah,
Yeah. Oh, well.
he would still do it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because it
forgot.
makes sense for him as well. It makes sense. It just makes sense. Period.
Yeah, because after a specific threshold, there's just so much money that you will never spend.
Now, you know what my question is? So what's the English word for waqf?
Endowment.
Endowment.
How are endowments different than trusts?
There's a completely different mechanism about it.
And now I threw a wrench in the machine.
Yeah, complete, because the trust. Actually, I'm gonna use your own. Wait. I'm gonna use your own. I'm gonna use exactly your own argument.
Goes quiet.
No. Actually, I have the perfect answer for you. You just said it. A trust is literally what you said about privatized endowments. Basically, it's not. It doesn't. It can only probably last a specific amount of years because it's run and managed by a private company. It's not like an endowment.
Private administrator.
A private administrator, exactly. That's what a trust is. An endowment, no, it's usually regulated by a government entity and it will last forever, and it's not something that can be ever privatized.
Yeah.
Ever.
So
Trust
why
is a family office setup.
Yeah.
Basically, all
Exactly.
my assets.
And that's why it's
private.
privately administered, because
Yep.
it's usually not. It's usually to play a game.
Yeah.
You go what I mean?
And it's probably not going to last after the third, fourth, fifth generation, whatever. Maybe some families, they have lasted for a good amount of years, but most families don't last that long.
I think if any people from the beginning, like the conversation about Trump and what he said about Somalis are watching, I think this could be one of the biggest slaps back in the face of those that talk that kalam to take. Was it you that as in create a waqf for your people, man?
Yep.
And the reason I say that, I'm telling you right now, Somalis can generate money. I've seen it, bro.
So what
Somali-
you're saying is creating a waqf for Somalis who come to America.
I'm not saying create it just for Somalis, create it for Muslims in general. But what I'm trying
Take
to get
responsibility,
at,
basically.
I'm just saying, if the Somalis, I'm telling you, bro.
Oh, you want to make headlines.
I've never seen a people generate money like them. I'm telling you, bro. As in, I've seen families that are not well off at all in the UK, but they produce money for a masjid to be bought in London, bro. London, like, you know how expensive that is?
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you, Allah barik. So, I'm saying there's options, there's ways, right? Okay, look, let's move on, inshallah ta'ala. I want to talk about, we'll carry on the conversation about the MENA region set to dominate, with GCC set to dominate in terms of growth for next year on a global level for the next episode. I want to talk about AI. Man. Others, I've got superpowers, man. Telling you, bro. This brother that I've been with, Mohamed Asmal is his name. I've got a podcast that's coming out with him. Crazy story, bro. His sister died when he was 11. His dad died when he was 12. His brother died when he was 13. And then when he was like 23, his wife got murdered.
Oh my God.
Who murders her?
A nephew that was staying in their house. And then they tried to accuse him for the crime, bro.
Oh.
This brother
Where was this? Where did it take place?
South Africa. And he hit rock bottom. And after like 10, 15 years, bro, he just started to get his confidence back and work out. Alhamdulillah, now he's been flown around the world. Movie actors in America, big celebrities, big businessmen are flying into Miami, San Diego. Just comes with his stove, bro. He's showing me these videos of him delivering these big presentations on AI in front of these massive, stadiums or auditoriums, rather. Sorry, not stadiums. And he's got his stove, trousers above the ankle. And I'm like, lovely brother. But I've got a podcast with him, like I said, coming out, a lot more detail, inshallah. But I did want to discuss this briefly with you guys because the rate at which AI, bro, is just growing, man. The options and the opportunities that are there, it doesn't make sense to delay taking advantage for even a day, man. Even a day.
How are we not taking advantage? What did you learn from him? Give us some gems.
So I'll tell you what.
But no fluff, like something that we could.
So I'll tell you.
We could leave and apply.
Okay. So first thing, what I'll say is the biggest gem that I could say is hire this guy as a consultant. That's the biggest gem, because what he does, look, everyone talks about AI. Most people use ChatGPT like Google. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Right? Or spell checker. I've been using ChatGPT for spell checking, brainstorming, and Google search. Those are the 3 things I use ChatGPT for. Do you know what I'm saying? Until now. But what he'll do is he'll look at your business and what you do, and he'll create bespoke AI solutions for you, right? But I'll give you some top line stuff. So he made me understand the difference between these different LLMs. So ChatGPT is like the famous one, right? But there's one called Claude.
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 CLAUDE,
Yeah.
right?
Are you familiar?
Like
Yeah.
the male version of Claudette.
I guess.
Okay.
CLA
UDE.
Claude. Okay. Tell us about Claude.
Claude.
Number one, the results that Claude gives you in comparison to ChatGPT is completely different. It's completely different. Like Claude was made, like their audience is enterprise. ChatGPT is just like retail AI users. Yeah? It's like kids and no. Claude is for big companies. Do you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that it does, bro, pretty much all of them do it, but Claude is on a different level, bro, is it connects to all these different softwares and tools that you have, right? So for example, Asana, which is our project management tool, I can go to Claude and say, hey, make me a project called Kether. Here are the tasks that I need to be done. Here are the people that I want to be assigned to. I don't have to go out of Claude. Do you know what I'm saying? Just literally in Claude, I could say, assign it to all these people, and you come up with a description and so on and so forth. Done, right? Now, if I want to check the performance, how much of the task completed, who seems to be stuck, who's bottlenecking, I can just go to Claude and say, hey, based on that task, where's the bottleneck? Who's the guy that's not performing? Who's late? Who's not delivering?
Is Asana better than Trello?
For me, Asana is much better than Trello. I can now, for example, put my financials, right? I put my Google Docs or my Google, my Excel sheets or Google Sheets.
It logs into Drive.
And it logs. So you use Claude?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
It logs into Google Drive.
Bro, it has your Google Drive.
Yeah.
It can retrieve all the information from Notion.
Yeah.
Bro, this is nothing. So now I connect it to a scraping tool. So let's just say, for example, I want to scrape stuff on Twitter and YouTube and all these different places, right?
Scrape.
Is that legal?
What do you mean
Yeah,
scrape?
it's legal. It's legal, yeah.
Scraping?
What's scraping?
It's basically when you take a software, when you go and try to retrieve all the information out of a specific page on a website, instead of like just taking all that content.
And then there's some websites that are hard to scrape. Like, for example, Twitter, you need to log in.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, YouTube, you need to log in or whatever have you. Right?
And I can still
like,
do
for
it.
example, if someone has a LinkedIn profile, you're like, scrape me all of his posts for the last 6 months, and then he'll just...
But this is sophisticated scraping now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm saying I can say scrape this information. Once you've done it, organize it, place it onto Asana, assign this to the sales team.
Tasks, yeah.
Assign this.
Oh my God.
And
You could do all of that with Claude.
I could do
There's some dodgy ways you could use that. You could scrape with Claude.
Well, and what I'm sharing,
Which is not possible with ChatGPT.
unless it's got the right connections. Look, Claude as a brain for me it's just better than ChatGPT. And I remember I heard
Where's
people-
this company from?
Anthropic is called the company Anthropic.
No, it's in the US also. It's an American company.
I presume so.
Okay.
So everyone's been telling me your Claude's better. Bro, you have to experience it.
So Claude is better than ChatGPT if you're a businessman?
Bro, Claude is better. Then
Wow.
he showed me this thing called Manus. Have you used Manus?
No.
So Manus now it uses all of these LLMs: ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, Grok. That's Twitter's one, yeah, or X's one. It uses all of these, and what it does is, some have things that others don't have. Do you know what I'm saying? So Manus basically brings all of them together and uses the right one at the right time, and it autonomously, bro. Like, let's just say it's doing something and it goes to a page, it has to make a login. It will tell you, hey, just quickly open up my screen, log in, make an account, and it carries on doing what it needs to do, bro. And it's got a bigger brain, bro, for lack of a better term.
Wow.
Bro, I'm angry with you.
God.
Why did you save this for the end?
He'll give us 15 minutes, inshallah. Anyway, what I'm sharing is nothing, brothers. This guy...
Basically, it's just a tip of the iceberg.
I already set up the consultation call with this brother.
Yeah.
As per Imran's recommendation. because everybody's business is bespoke. So
How much does he charge?
I'll find out Monday. You know.
Well, I'll find out as well. I got a consultation call.
I'll tell you what he charges.
Yeah.
Well, I looked at him and I said, bro, you're a joker. You charge me more.
Peanuts, huh?
One of the guys that of course he's not cheap, by the way. Yeah, we'll put a link to his stuff below. But one of the guys that hired him, non-Muslim guy, brought him to San Diego. He said one of your prompts. He's got a 75-page prompt. He said this prompt, I'm going to sell it for $10,000. So anyway, point being is, bro, all I'm saying is that I don't know this AI stuff.
75-page prompt.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Sorry, 74. 74.
It's no joke.
So the guy created a 74-page prompt for him.
And bro, he's been training me on prompt
What's
engineering.
the benefit of a 74-page prompt? And why does it need to be that specific?
Bro, that's the art. When you talk to these language learning models, right? These LLMs, large language models, sorry. It's all language, bro. It's all language. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, how are you using?
So for me, for research, I found Perplexity to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So I use Perplexity. I don't use ChatGPT for research actually anymore. It's all Perplexity, and it's very current. And what I have started doing in Perplexity for last actually from the beginning of this year, it's I asked Perplexity to give me data every single morning on US Midwest market and Southeast market, like Florida, and Midwest is Michigan, Illinois, and also Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Saudi, some pocket of market, every morning at a certain time. And the data it gives me, so it's there, so I don't have to go in, and it gives me exactly, of course, I'm just...
As in you've got the prompt.
Yeah.
Copy and paste every morning.
No, it's auto.
Oh, you got it automated.
Yes, I created an automation, so it's giving it to me every morning. But every morning, it's giving it to me the last day's data. If anything has not changed, it's letting me know there's no significant change since the last update. But this is what it is. And of course, I'm simplifying
the prompt. It's a customized newsletter.
Yes,
You made a customized newsletter.
Yeah, and of course, I'm simplifying the prompt. Even my prompt is not 74-page, but it's basically exactly what I want to see. I don't want to know the whole market, what's happening and everything. Exactly what I want, how I want it. It's giving me exactly that. For example, in Dubai, what plans are being launched, delayed. Like it goes into detail. Like it even finds these obscure articles, Reddits, all that. But like main thing is today.
But that's
recent.
amazing. So that's how you're on top of everything. Because you always are on top. But listen, did you make this yourself or you had someone do it for you?
I made it myself, yeah.
Even the automation?
Yeah.
Well, I'm bet you're resourceful, man.
Alhamdulillah, Sheikh. I try, man, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
I just realized that I use Perplexity as well.
But you can automate.
But I use it on WhatsApp.
You use it on WhatsApp.
That's
Do you have it on
bro.
WhatsApp?
That's not Perplexity, that's Llama.
Brother, it's Perplexity.
How?
It's what I have on top. First chat that I got is Perplexity.
Bro, how did you do that?
Brother, come on, I ain't no lightweight.
You guys are bringing their secret.
You got Perplexity in WhatsApp.
Yeah. So
you just talk to it on WhatsApp.
I talk to it on WhatsApp. I use it for my to-do list. It sends me, have you done this? Have you not done that? Remember, it's like I have 20 things that need to be done.
That reminds me,
I
Sheikh.
didn't know you could do that.
What do you guys use for WhatsApp filtering? Of course, within WhatsApp, like do you use any additional AI? I got labels, unreads, and all that. Like, because WhatsApp has become like the CRM now, unofficial CRM. Yeah. Do you guys use any AIs? Like, for example, on WhatsApp, let's say Brother Imran texted me, hey, look at this thing. Okay, it's there. I want an AI to now figure it out for me. When to look at it, how to look at it, when. Like, do you have anything like that?
I don't know.
Because WhatsApp has become very messy for me, man.
Can I connect it to...
No, when my WhatsApp got messy, I just got another WhatsApp that nobody has except...
No, but even like business, let's say...
this.
Yeah, because I want my WhatsApp to become like a robot.
Yeah.
Like...
So I think you're better off doing that with Telegram.
Telegram.
I think Telegram is a lot more customizable.
But not everybody communicates on Telegram. That's the issue.
I know, but if you're going to use it
Only
for work,
Russians
you might
are
as well, I mean, specifically for work, let's say, okay, there are two parts. First, you have to look at it externally and internally. Externally, WhatsApp is the way to go. Internally, definitely Telegram. Telegram, from what I know from all the people, the coders and the people that use AI, Telegram is very customizable. It's amazing to implement, whether it's Perplexity or ChatGPT or whatever. WhatsApp, it's a lot harder to do that. And even, for example, labels, did you know that you have 20 maximum labels?
Yeah, I
It's
maxed
stupid.
out maxed out. all of them.
It's WhatsApp
I
is
use labels,
made for
folders, everything.
yeah.
but still
It's
messy, man.
made for just retail use, not
I'll tell you something. You know Llama? That's Meta's AI.
Yeah.
The one that's at the top of WhatsApp.
Yes.
He'll probably make something.
Yeah, it was very basic. I hate Llama. I haven't tried it
No, but
recently.
you know why? So even I said that to the brother. I was dissing
Oh,
him.
but then we don't know how to use it.
No,
probably.
he was like, bro, you don't understand. Their AI is for the ad platform.
Yeah. Oh, for the ad platform.
That's where it's killing it.
Yeah.
It's not even meant for this. You know what I'm
see.
saying? So, but point being is that I see them doing that for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But, sorry, for WhatsApp. The thing is, what I heard, and again, I'm not a techie, I'm not trying to step outside my lane, but I heard the API is not open, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
But what I've learned is whenever I sit with these tech guys, they're like, brother, all this stuff can be conquered. So it's just about sitting with someone that knows how to override and take the information out.
Another quick one I'll give, Sheikh, and this has been very helpful with my team. So any of my ideas that I finalized through, let's say, research from Perplexity, ChatGPT, everything put together, okay, this is the final thing. For example, recently we came up with and I'll share with you, brother, like our investment principles, like exactly what are investment principles, what we invest in, what we don't invest in and everything, right? So it's like became a long document because it's like all my thoughts and everything put together. Then I went to Notebook LM, uploaded a PDF and made it into a podcast. And I don't know if you guys heard the Notebook LM podcast.
No.
Bro.
So basically, he took his company, he uploaded it on whatever software it is, and they created this artificial podcast. This guy is an imaginary guy. This woman is an imaginary woman talking about his topic.
But was it a man and a woman, like the actual video?
No, there was nothing.
It's all AI talking.
It's all AI.
I know, but I'm saying, was it visual?
No. So, Sheikh,
It's just voice.
Yeah, Brother Harris, it was voice. So basically, we created our global investment operating system. Now, it's like a 7-page document, but very like deep stuff. Of course, that's going to be part of our company binder, right? You read it, but not everybody absorbs the information that way, right? We go over like all principles. So I uploaded that into Notebook LM and said, hey, now I have team members in multiple capacities, but I want everybody to know, even the ones that are not involved in investing, I want them to know how we invest, how we operate. So create a podcast that they can understand. So he created a 13-minute podcast where it's like two people conversating. Man, it's so good. And it's not like they are only taking the PDF stuff and talking about those things.
It's adding
adding things, it's like you're watching a CNBC, forget CNBC, man, like a top level Wall Street show, a podcast. You're hearing, like you're enlightened.
And
after
they made it for you.
They made it for me based on the PDF I uploaded. So based on the PDF I uploaded, I actually learned more from the podcast
Bro, I'm
after
telling you
uploading.
something. Whether you level up or you don't level up, there's going to be a lot of heads that are going to get chopped just by AI. Like,
I love the rhyme.
Even like I was thinking about when I was in London in the metro, I was like, man, teachers are not going to exist anymore. Schools are not going to exist. It's like you're going to have AI teach my kid English. What I mean?
Can I just add to this Notebook LM?
What's the Notebook? Yeah, go ahead.
So that's the one that created the podcast,
So
Notebook LM.
Podcast, yeah. It will make an infographic video.
Yeah, it made that, yeah.
Bro, it looks so good. It's so engaging.
How much do you have to pay for this?
With your Google Enterprise account, it's free.
Yeah.
So all our
Google
emails.
Workspace. If you got Google Workspace.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
you
I
got
got
Google
Google
Workspace,
Workspace.
it's free.
Yeah.
It's
You're
part of the
kidding
Google
me.
Workspace.
Yeah.
It's part of Google Workspace.
Have you got Google Workspace?
Of course.
Well, then it's free.
Yeah.
And then
So we'll create an infograph.
No, bro. It'll make it literally, bro. You know what it did? We literally fed it the transcript of this series, the first 4 episodes. But you know what it did? We said, look, what is this podcast about, bro? The way it within 10 minutes went through like 12 hours of material and literally, bro, summarized our whole podcast. And I couldn't summarize it.
Yeah.
It said these are the themes, these are the 5 things that they talk about. It breaks it down. It brought quotes. It brought one of your quotes.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one?
I can't remember which one right now, but it was bringing quotes. What it will do is, we'll do that. It will make mind maps.
Yep.
It will make slideshows.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing slideshows.
And bro, the whole thing is that, for example, let's use case, sales team.
Oh my God.
A sales team comes, yeah? I can feed it my ICP, my ideal customer profile, right? Which is like a 29-page document. Who's our ideal customer, right? Sam's avatar, by the way. And it will create, bro, a module on this is who you sell to. You do the same for your offer, i.e. the thing you're selling. Now, what are all the things that go wrong in a sales call? You feed it, bruv, 400 hours of sales call data, but all the mistakes and all the things that went right and it will turn that into a nice 1.5 hour or 1 hour class. And bro, it's sick.
And it's so real, brother.
so real.
Did you hear how he pronounced Sakina?
Yeah.
Like Sakina, not Sakina. Like, you know.
Also, when it comes to, like, I can give dawa dawa, right? If I go to Shamila, which is or a PDF where it's not images because I tried it, but it has to be text, or go to Shamila, which is a website that has like all these books, yeah, and I put it on there. Look, this is your source. And I take, for example, Ibn Jawzi's book, At-Talbis Iblis, right? And then, for example, I bring, I don't know, a book like, what's the personal development motivational book?
48 Laws of Power.
48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power. And I say, based on 48 Laws of Power, right? Sorry, but I want you to find things, this might be such a bad example, but, but run with it. Find stuff that is backed up by in 48 Laws of Power by Ibn Jawzi and Ibn Qayyim in these two books. Of course, you have to verify these things and whatnot, but bro, it will start finding things for you and it will create a video script. And now, is it this? He's like Ibn Qayyim's 10 Laws of Power.
You know
You'll
what?
find an athar somewhere in the book that talks about, bro, it's mad.
You know, while I'm watching you guys like praise the development of AI and everything,
Yeah.
like with such energy and joyfulness,
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm thinking like in those movies that show the end of the world, it usually starts with like showing like a TV screen of people talking like about AI.
That's so funny.
You know, it's like the whole world is destroyed, but there's like a TV playing. It's like partially playing, and Imran and Sam are on it. It's like, yeah, you know, it's like it could do this, it could do that.
Should I say what I believe, right? And I could be completely wrong. I could be completely off. I'll tell you what I believe. Yeah? I don't actually think the AI thing is going to be. The acceleration is going to be as
Bro, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
yeah.
Leave the acceleration. When you have, school shootings,
Yeah.
you know the psychopaths that do that?
Yeah.
Now imagine if he's a killer with AI. That's what I'm worried about. You know?
Look,
Some moron, psychopath, killer with AI creates something that goes out of control.
that could be the case, right? Inshallah, it's not. But my thing is that I think there's going to be a choke point. The acceleration is going to slow down because energy is becoming a big problem, man. Like the rate at which they have to keep powering these AIs. And bro, it eats so much energy, and the more sophisticated you make the technology, bro, the more energy it consumes. So being able to produce that energy within itself, bro, I think there's going to be a choke point. So I'm just trying to make use of it.
I think
now.
Saudi's Minister of Economy, I forgot exactly which minister, he said they need to invest, just to keep Saudi demand, they need to invest 30 trillion in the next 5 years in power, just to keep Saudi demand of like the consumption of it. And he's saying we have only invested 2.7, we're coming to 2026.
So, on that note, guys, AI, inshallah ta'ala, check it out. Brother Mohamed Azmal, hire yourself a consultant.
Inshallah, next week I'll give you feedback.
Yeah.
Of our consultation call.
Please do, man. Now, well, I really enjoyed this conversation. Was it boring?
He woke up at the end with AI.
At the beginning. I told you, bro, it's dynamic.
Look, it wasn't boring, but it could be more exciting.
Let's make it more exciting next week, inshallah.
خلاص.
With you, we sprinkle some of that.
موضوع عندي.
Inshallah. With that said, people, may Allah bless you and guide you and keep you firm always. Amin. And remember, take your money and put it in Muslim economies all day, every day. Put it in Zarir's early stage technology company.
مرحبا.
Inshallah, you're going to become very rich if you do that. Wait, I'm not giving advice. I'm not giving investment advice. Do due diligence. Because apparently I can get in trouble for that.
You can?
But I believe in you.
No, I don't think you can. Give them advice again.
May Allah bless you guys, man.
آمين.
سبحانك اللهم
آمين.
وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
مرحبا.
Hello.